NFL after the draft and the offseason moves that have been made. Who is most improved? Most improved is very important because we're going to have a discussion coming up in just a little while on this program that I think we're using the term most improved a little too loosely. But
we're going to argue, I mean, in a way that we don't often argue, because I think you're smoking crimes on. You said something before this show where I went, we need to make sure Tank has a safe ride home because he is intoxicated.
Which I don't get at all. I don't understand the faith there, but like I said, we'll get to it.
Oh no! What I'm stuck on is not that you don't have faith in one team. It's that you don't think there's a big divide between two. And for me, there's a Grand Canyon between the two of them.
Okay. Most improved teams after the offseason moves that have been made. That is the topic for the last 2 hours of the program here today. Of course, you can weigh in on all of it in the chat. And first up, though, we got to take a little trip around the headlines here as we had a big move made yesterday on our day off as the Dallas Cowboys have made one of those, what did Jerry call them? Substantial trades that they were working on before the NFL draft. And when Jerry said it, I thought, yeah, this is just more bluster from Jerry Jones. But then they actually did pull off a substantive trade yesterday. George Pickens goes from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Dallas Cowboys, giving the Cowboys their number 2 receiving option and stripping away the number 2 option for whoever's going to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers this year.
Aaron Rodgers. Still Aaron Rodgers.
Still Aaron Rodgers?
Still going to be. Look, Aaron's been throwing with DK Metcalf. That should tell you pretty much everything you need to know.
Sure. I didn't see him taking any practices in with George Pickens.
He did not.
And in fact, he may have asked George Pickens, and George Pickens' response wasn't what he wanted, and Aaron said, okay, I'm not playing with that guy. And
he
Mike
probably
Tomlin
saw him get
like,
drafted.
You know what?
He probably saw him get drafted and went, this dude wears condoms on his head. I'm good. I don't want to play football with the Trojan man. I'm good.
In this fantasy world, Aaron goes to Mike Tomlin and says, I don't want to play with that guy. And Mike Tomlin says, oh, thank God. I've been looking for a reason to get that guy off of this team.
Well, it's funny.
It's been a headache, right? We made the jokes when George Pickens got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers that, look, here we are again. The Pittsburgh Steelers are picking a diva wide receiver, and it's only going to be a matter of time before he acts or talks his way out of town. And here we are.
The Dallas Cowboys are very willy-nilly with third-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
So they give up the 3. It's a 3 this year, a 6, 5 in 2027.
Yes.
They get back a 6 next year. You gave up a 3 and a 5. George Pickens is better than that. He's still young. He's only 24 years old, and he just turned 24.
He's better than that if you're going to keep him. That's the question.
And I think they will.
I don't know.
I do. I think you didn't give up a 3rd and a 5th to not keep a guy. And I'll be honest with you, he gets extended before the year starts.
You think so?
Because this is the final year of the deal. Mm-hmm. You couldn't set another 3rd-round pick on fire. If you did, then it changes very much what I'm getting ready to say. I don't think that – I've seen a lot of analysis of this of, the Pittsburgh Steelers do it again. Get value for a diva receiver. That's what they do.
Yep.
You know what the difference is this time from every other time? You don't have anything to replace him with, bruh. Oh, Roman Wilson? That's your 2. Okay, sure. That'll be fun. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers won't pull his hair out throwing to that guy as the 2 with a 1 that's DK Metcalf, who, by the way, may be the most overrated player in the NFL. And to me, it's by a wide margin. Play a fun game. Tank and I did this before the show. Seasons over 1,114 yards. How many does DK Metcalf have in now going into his 7th year in the league?
1.
It's 1. How many does George Pickens have going into his 4th?
1.
It's 1, and he was on track for another last year and missed 3 games.
There you go.
Here's what nobody wants to admit this today. The difference between George Pickens and DK Metcalf as receivers is negligible at best.
Okay.
You would say DK Metcalf is a top what receiver in the NFL?
15.
I think you're smoking crack.
Really?
I could probably name you 15 off the top of my head. Ooh, let's see if I actually can do that. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Garrett Wilson. I'm literally just going across the standings. Okay. Zay Flowers, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Nico Collins.
Uh-huh.
Nope, none there. Wow, AFC South receivers are brutal. Devontae Adams.
Okay. That's like, 8?
Yep. Malik Neighbors. CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm to 15. I still got 3 divisions left. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think one of them I just said is even debatable. DK's the top 25 guy in the league to me. By the way, he's a headache, and he's 4 years older than George Pickens. Mm-hmm. Oh, and he has a horrific medical history. Hasn't come up a ton in the NFL, but it's funny how many times I've done this where guys get to 28, 29, 30 years old, and you go back to that scouting report and go, the medical's brutal, and all of a sudden injuries start happening. Now, you put all those things in a vacuum and you go, but surely to God they got a better guy. Did they, though? DK Metcalf and George Pickens are the same person. One of them's just 4 years older. Mm-hmm. And way more expensive.
And more mature. Not by much.
I don't know that. I'm not sure I couldn't watch a toddler defecate themselves on a playground and say, you're probably more mature than DK Metcalf.
Right.
Now, I can say the same thing about George Pickens, but you're sitting here saying, okay, well, we got this headache off our team, but you added another one. I get not wanting to have them together. But now you still have the same problem. Mm-hmm. The Pittsburgh Steelers cannot get out of their own way.
But I took the one that I may not have to pay $25 million next year. I mean, if George Pickens has a good year this year, which he's a good player, and he can go over 1,200 yards with CeeDee Lamb on the other side of him and have 9 touchdowns, north of 9 touchdowns. If he has that, that's a huge payday next time around.
So you're okay paying 29-year-old DK Metcalf $31 million, but you're not okay paying 24-year-old George Pickens $25.
I guess they are.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That basically what you just said is I'm going to leave my wife because she cheated on me, and I'm going to start dating the hooker I met from down the street. What? That makes zero sense. So to avoid paying a guy that's a train wreck headache, you're going to pay a train wreck headache that's already been paid, that you have no control over. And, oh, by the way, you'd have gotten a draft pick for George Pickens when he left. Because on the open market, George Pickens is getting paid.
You go, what? Yeah, but you get, a third-round pick? You just guaranteed your third-round pick.
I would say it's probably a 4.
Okay, so you went up a round by trading him.
I think you're missing my point. I don't have a problem with either one of these deals in a vacuum. I have a problem with them together. So you're telling me that the diva receiver, I don't want the diva receiver. We've got young Roman Wilson. We got Calvin Austin. But you brought in somebody else's headache that's 4 years older. That has not been productive the way you think he has. His 3,000-yard seasons in his career. In 6 years.
Yeah,
oh, by the way, he's missed like 4 games in his entire career. So it's not, I got hurt and didn't produce. I don't get it. There are certain front offices, and I'm going to level with you. Since Omar Khan took over the Pittsburgh Steelers, I cannot tell you the last thing they did that made legit sense to me. Where I look at it and go, that feels like you have a plan. That feels like Pittsburgh Steeler football. Because I haven't seen it in forever. And we talk about how good of an organization this is. Are they really at this point? Honestly, just because they keep going 9-8 and getting slaughtered in the first round of the playoffs, that makes them a good organization?
Because they're never bad. If they're never bad, then they can't be bad.
And I guess I'm to the point of I disagree with you on that.
Okay.
I would rather be, and I mean this, I would rather be the Carolina Panthers right now than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's not even close. At least in Carolina, I'm young, and I look at the draft classes and go, that makes sense. I understand why you did that.
Right.
In the last 7 years, how many draft picks have the Pittsburgh Steelers just nailed? Just guys that are no doubters.
I'd say it's probably a good handful.
Okay, name them.
8, maybe.
Last year, I'll give you Zach Frazier, West Virginia kid that's playing center for them right now. Other than that, it was Troy Fautano, Roman Wilson, Peyton Wilson. We think all those guys could be good, but you can't, in under any circumstances, tell me you know they are.
Sure.
Year before that, Broderick Jones. He's been pretty much a turnstile at right tackle. Now he goes over to the left. Joey Porter's been one of the lowest-rated corners in the league both years he's been in this league. I like Keanu Benton, but that was your draft class. Year before that, Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, both gone. DeMarvin Leal, Calvin Austin. Awesome. You said before the show, hey, you like Calvin Austin. You're right. If he's the best player in your draft class, that draft class was a turd. Year before that, Najee Harris, gone. Pat Freiermuth, well, he's still here. Kendrick Green, gone. Dan Moore, gone. Year before that, Chase Claypool, Alex Highsmith. There's one. Found one. In 5 years, you've nailed 2 draft picks, and you're telling me this is still a good organization? Meanwhile, you're chasing guys like DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers. I'm good. I think at this point, DK Metcalf and the Pittsburgh Steelers are a perfect fit for each other because they are both so grossly overrated that it makes my head hurt.
Maybe so. But it didn't make sense to me in the first place when they brought DK Metcalf in to play with George Pickens. The instant that got announced, the first thing I said was I can't wait for the training camp fights because they're a-coming. Because you doubled down. You doubled down on the crazy. And this move doesn't really surprise me.
It surprises me because what I thought they were doing was bringing in a veteran leader in Aaron Rodgers, and I get a lot of you don't like him. He from everything I've heard, he was not the headache that he's been made out to be with the Jets. And you were going to have really good weapons. You're going to have DK, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth. You got the young kid in Roman Wilson. You got the slot guy in Calvin Austin. You added Caleb Johnson to play running back. Okay, that's a team I think you can win with. You take George Pickens off of that, everybody goes up a step. And then you start to look at it differently. Now you have DK Metcalf as a true legit one, which I think he is fringe at best. Your 2 is Calvin Austin. Your 3 is Roman Wilson. Pat Freiermuth's a middle-of-the-league tight end.
You're forgetting Alan Lazard.
Alan Lazard's not on that team. Alan Lazard restructured with the Jets. Alan Lazard ain't going nowhere. Alan Lazard restructured his deal to where it would be damn near impossible for the Jets to release him. Alan Lazard ain't going to Pittsburgh. Hate to break it to you. I know you want to put all Aaron's little toys with him. It ain't happening. I didn't understand it when the Jets restructured him. When I looked at the deal, you save literally nothing to get rid of him.
Oh, well, shoot.
So it ain't Lazard. Randall Cobb's retired, so you keep cobbling together Aaron Rodgers, guys. There's not a whole lot of them out there.
Right.
It's just, to me, this is, and I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to think about it and tell me where I'm wrong. The difference between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is what?
Ooh. I mean, aside from the fact that Our offense is way better than yours is.
It's actually so much better that it's borderline comical.
Right.
In the last 5 years, you've scored 69 more touchdowns than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
By the way, would you like to hear the list of teams that have scored less touchdowns than the Pittsburgh Steelers in the last 5 years?
Yes.
Would you like to hear it again? The New England Patriots have 2 more in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Tom's
that's
been gone for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. The defense,
Think about that.
I mean, I would imagine Pittsburgh's defense is markedly better, at least stat-wise, pass rush-wise,
Yep.
definitely.
They are.
Aside from that, like, those teams are really that close to me.
Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay.
Right, they're like they're exact opposites of each other.
They're exact opposites of each other that lead to the
Right,
same result.
Like, sure.
We have one terrible side of the ball. Mm-hmm. We have one good side of the ball. In the last 5 years, what's the record of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Oh, I have no idea. Somewhere 5 games over 500, something
51 and 33. You forgot the Super Bowl year was in there.
Super Bowl year, yeah.
What's the record of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Let me guess, something similar.
50, 32, and 1. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Pittsburgh is talked about like they're this stalwart franchise. They're not. Mm-hmm. They're not. Baltimore has passed you. It's really not close. Mm-hmm. They draft better than you. They have a better quarterback than you. I think they have a better coach than you. They have a better culture than you. Cincinnati is nipping on your heels, and they can't get out of their own way. Tampa Bay plays in a god-awful division.
Yep.
That's the difference. The only difference is one of you plays in the most physical, hyper-aggressive division in football, which steers into the fact that you athletically are probably a bottom 5 talented roster in this league. But we can grind it out and play good Steeler defense and beat teams 13-10. Yep, then you go to the playoffs and get beat 34-6. Mm-hmm. You're not a threat to anything. I saw this deal yesterday, and I audibly laughed out loud and went, yeah, that math on both sides. Because we haven't talked about the Cowboys side of this yet, which it may even be more interesting to me.
Who won the deal? Or is this just the NFL version of Rochambeau that Jeremy likes to talk about?
That is a perfect analogy. That's exactly what this was. And the funny thing is, it was George Pickens kicking them both in the ding-ding.
Uh-huh. George Pickens going from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Dallas Cowboys. What do the Cowboys get out of this deal? We'll talk about it up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is the story of the one. As a safety
All right, we're clear.
manufacturing, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers
I never pieced this together, but George Pickens is the Paul Heyman of
he can always play
the
it safe.
NFL.
Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.
Oh, yeah?
He nard shot CM Punk, and then he gets Roman Reigns, too. You thought I was on your side, but I'm not. Skadoosh.
Struggles and face the mountain in front of them. So during Mental Health Awareness Month, focus on your emotional well-being. Tune into the podcast and climb that mountain.
You will never be able to change or grow through the thing that you refuse to identify. The thing that you refuse to say, hey, this is my mountain. This is the struggle.
Listen to Made for This Mountain on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Made for This Mountain.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue for WTF Thursdays. That's Women to the Front, a new live music series spotlighting incredible solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. in partnership with WTF Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage. It's free, it's fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursday.
Gary Burge has a good point in the YouTube comment.
What's that? I mean, we found out a lot of things.
He said
about
Dallas
it.
gave assets to get worse. I don't necessarily agree with that part. They just added another head case to the fire. The second thing he said was Pittsburgh always does is get the most out of the head case, then get rid of them at just the right time.
Yep.
And I agree with that.
Heard on
The only thing
radio,
is that there's
the
always been
Chainsaw
another
Brothers
head
are
case there
still
to
here,
take over.
making it
I don't think they have
the
one
right
this time.
way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chains. They'll get one next year. They just missed their chance this year.
Well, what are you going to do in
Figured
the
DK
off
was
time?
Only
You going to wait on Will Howard to develop? Because I think you're going to be waiting for a while.
Our butchers cut all
Like
our
forever.
meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. Call me today, Clarissa Marshall, at 828-774-6343. When it comes to real estate, we're here for what matters most, you.
Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina is doing it again. Their next car show for a cause is coming up Saturday, May 24th. Cars Against Breast Cancer at the Advanced Auto Parts in Oakley Plaza, 801 Fairview Road. It'll be an afternoon of family-friendly fun with a 50-50 and raffle prizes, including a PS5 and the grand prize, a week in a condo in Myrtle Beach, Tennessee, or Virginia. There'll be live music, face painting, and games for the kids. Join Wheels for Meals Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
We are back in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. George Pickens, that guy, you knew it was coming. You should have known it was coming because I told you it was coming. The same guy that was throwing haymakers at Georgia during a game against Georgia Tech. Shocker of shockers, there's a coach in the NFL that doesn't really want him to be on his team anymore. I'm not surprised that Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers went, nah, we're good. I'm not going through contract negotiations with you.
I will say contract negotiations with him could be difficult.
Right, like
because you're going to have to speak real slow.
But he's got that Shadur thing, right? Like all the things that I have heard, all the stories that I've read about Shadur and how he treated the owners and the GMs and stuff in meetings and things. Like that's kind of how I see this George Pickens thing as well.
I'm so glad you said that way.
Like when you sit down with a guy and he thinks his worth is so much more than what it actually is. I mean, George Pickens is the kind of guy that I could fully see him wanting to come in and demand, CeeDee Lamb money. That's not happening, dude. You're not that guy.
I'm so glad you said that way. And here's why. Not a lot of people know this, but it's true. Tank can attest. We did an NIL deal with George Pickens.
Yeah.
I had several interactions with George when he was still in college. Never once did he come off that way to me. Not once. Did he come off as immature? Yes. And I told Tank that numerous times. Is that it feels like he's younger than he actually is. He was 19 or 20 at the time. I can't remember which one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I told Tank often, I feel like I'm dealing with a 15-year-old in certain ways. Not that that's a problem. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Certain guys are not as mature as others. Did he ever come off as a diva to me? No. Not really. He's a hyper-competitive guy, and he doesn't always make the smartest decisions. Mm-hmm. I could say the exact same thing about DK Metcalf, and it's way worse for me out of a 28-year-old that's been in the league for 6 years than it is out of a 24-year-old.
Okay.
I mean, DK Metcalf, it was an open secret in the NFL. Hit him. Hit him early. Hit him often. Potentially hit him dirty. He's irrelevant now. He's irrelevant because he'll get so in his head, all he cares about is fighting you. Name the number of players in the NFL in the last 6 years since DK Metcalf's been in the league that have been ejected for more games than him. Give you a
Probably
hint.
none.
It's a blank sheet of paper.
Sure.
I think it's 6 one way, half dozen the other. Then we get to what is, to me, the more interesting side, which is George Pickens playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Is it crazy that I actually think this could work?
No.
I do. And you know why I do? Because he ain't getting number one coverage anymore. What did I tell you 5,000 times through the offseason with Dallas? You have got to find somebody that can play on the outside, because the way you are currently constituted, CeeDee Lamb is going to have to do it. And that cuts probably 60% of all of the things that he does far and away better than practically anybody else in the league. George Pickens allows you now to move him all over the place. You can move him anywhere you want to. And here's the thing that I think is the most important. George is the 2. George is the 2. He has a guy that's very close to his own age that is a consummate pro. See, I've never heard a negative word about CeeDee Lamb through back channels. Ever.
Nor have I.
He's pouted a couple times on sidelines, but he's a receiver. I expect that. I'm the best player on the team. I'm not getting the ball. I pout a little bit. Don't care. It's kind of like a running back being dumb. I actually kind of like that, because I'm asking you getting 22 car wrecks a week. So I don't want you to be a rocket surgeon. Is it the greatest thing ever? No, but it's the way it is. I actually think this could work. And I look at that Dallas offense now and go, I don't think your offense is your problem. I think your defense could be a problem. But you had a killer draft. If Donovan Ezraku can come in here and be the second pass rusher on that team, and he doesn't even really have to be the 2. He kind of has to be the 2B with Sam Williams. Micah Parsons wins routinely. Now your 3 starting corners should be Trayvon Diggs, Savone Revel, and Deron Bland. That's not bad. I don't think this Cowboy team is as bad as everybody else does. And I get it. The Brian Schottenheimer thing didn't make any sense. I don't love that now you've got Brian Schottenheimer with a lot of egos. That's the number one thing that scares me, is you got a lot of names on this team, and you have a coach with less cachet than a coffee cup.
But he's got the X's and O's down.
No, he doesn't.
That's all.
Can confirm he was my offensive coordinator for 7 years. Can confirm? No, he doesn't. He might think he does. He does not.
Right. Again, I'm not surprised that this move got made, because Dallas knew they had to have a guy. They knew they had to have a number 2. And this does allow them to do a lot more with CeeDee Lamb and move him around the formation and all the things. Could it work out? Yeah, for a year. I don't know if it works out beyond that.
Drozone had a really good point in our YouTube chat. I lost it. It was basically CeeDee's target share is so high. Do you really think that Pickens isn't going to take issue with that? Oh, I'm glad you said that. How many targets did George Pickens have last year? I was shocked how low this was.
No clue.
103.
Okay.
CeeDee Lamb, obviously, way higher than that. He had 152. Second receiver for the Cowboys last year was Jake Ferguson. He had 86. I'm not sure his snap count's or his target share is going to change all that much. The percentage will, because now he's competing with CeeDee Lamb. In terms of statistically, I don't see any way he doesn't surpass 103 or whatever it was I just said.
Well, no, especially now since he's got a better quarterback.
Having
CeeDee Lamb is going to get you more targets, period, because he's going to draw the majority of the coverage.
And see, that's where I think CeeDee's target share comes down.
Yeah,
I think he goes from 152 to probably 135.
And CeeDee wants it to. CeeDee Lamb wants his target share to go down because he doesn't want to be the only guy anymore.
Well, he also was and nobody wants to talk about this, he was very to say this appropriately is kind of hard because I don't think there's a word for it. He was very big play, then dinky dunky.
Mm-hmm.
He had 16 catches over 20 yards last year. Does that not seem really low for a guy that had 101 catches? To only have 16 that went over 20 yards?
Mm-hmm.
That's really dinky dunky. If I'm CeeDee Lamb and that target share can go from 152 to even 125, and I stay in that 90 to 95 to 100 catches, my average per catch is going to go up because now you can do more with me. You can't just double cover me at all times. Maybe I'm crazy and I'm undervaluing the effect of personalities, but I'm also looking at George Pickens in a contract year, which Bob Brown just said in our YouTube comments.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to get George Pickens on his best behavior for a year.
Most definitely.
I will be reasonably shocked if he's not in Dallas a year from now. And his quarterback just got way better. Dak Prescott's way better than any quarterback threw to him last year.
Yes.
I think it can work in Dallas. It may be the greatest drama you've ever seen on a football sideline.
See, and that's where it all turns. Because there's so much going on with that team that it's never quiet. And now you just added another loud voice to the room. That's the problem that I have with it.
And you did. You don't have a ton of loud voices in that room, though. You got Dak, CD, and now George Pickens.
And Micah. Micah's a big one.
Micah's on the defensive side, though. I don't really... Through camp, that could be an issue, but once you really get into the season, those guys they're in such different spaces.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't really care.
I'm not saying they'll have an effect on each other. It's just another layer of adding to the Dallas circus. Because now there's going to be, all the social media chatter, and Pickens is a guy that, well, I mean, he's been active on social media. We've talked about his tweets before. Who knows where this could go and what fights he's going to pick, and not necessarily fights, but you know what I'm saying, spats and jawing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it gets loud, and Jerry has always liked that, right? He's always liked the guy who kind of creates waves, but as long as he's his guy.
Jerry likes the show.
And Jerry has had, what was it? Who were we talking about the other day? Adam Pac-Man Jones. We were talking about him the other day and his relationship with Jerry and how close that they were. Like, Jerry takes guys that are a little wackadoo under his wing and kind of adopts them in a way. It could work out well for George Pickens. Although, again, it could be a massive failure.
So here would be
the thing is I don't know what I'm getting. And so that's why I kind of go back to the Pittsburgh side on this one. Like, I can see why you did this.
All right, what's the high side on best case scenario for both of these teams?
Oh, boy. Best case scenario for Pittsburgh?
Mm-hmm.
I think with or without this deal, it was 9-8, maybe 10-7. Same thing. I didn't think it was going to change anything. Now, Dallas, on the other hand, this markedly improves them.
There it is.
Yeah.
What did you have to lose? You were getting ready to go into a season with CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Mingo, and Jalen Tolbert.
Right.
I heard you say third-round pick. Have you seen who the Dallas Cowboys have drafted in the third round over the last few years?
Right, that's what I'm saying, which I was probably going to screw up anyway. So here I get a known quantity. Is he a risk? Yes. But the reward here could be pretty great. I mean, it doesn't make me a Super Bowl contender.
No.
It's going to make my fans think it does.
There's nothing you could have done that was going to make you a Super Bowl contender.
Exactly.
Before we go into the commercial break, Tommy T in our YouTube comments had a good point. He said, just heard on radio in D.C. that the Jets and Steelers are working on a deal to trade Lazard. That is possible. I don't know what you would give up, but everything I've heard from people in the Jets room, they're planning on Alan Lazard being on this team. They don't care that Aaron Rodgers wants – Lazard's a good run blocker. And for all of the shade I threw at him, I always was very sure to say, this kid can block really, really well. Mm-hmm. They added Josh Reynolds in the offseason, too. It's another guy that can block really, really well. And they're not just going to give him to you. So I think Lazard does stay with the Jets, unless something has vehemently changed in the last 2 weeks, and I don't think it has.
Right. We'll send you a 5th-round pick. Will that be enough?
5th-round pick, you probably have him. Yeah, I like picks, and we're bad.
We'll take it.
We'll trot Tyler Johnson out there. We'll be fine.
Right. I think we just got one of those in this deal, so we can make that work. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Warmer this afternoon. Mix of
I think
clouds
we
and
have
sun.
a pope, by
Chance
the way.
for showers and storms late this afternoon and tonight. Highs in.
Oh, is there white smoke?
Somebody in the chat said there was.
50s
I
tonight.
haven't
Keep a
seen it.
chance
I'm going
for
to look
showers
right now.
and storms in during the day Friday. Otherwise, mixed clouds and sun. Not quite as warm tomorrow afternoon. Highs in the low part of the 70s.
Yes, sir. A new pope has been chosen. White smoke rises from the Sistine Chapel.
I'm meteorologist Ken Boone.
But we don't know who it is yet.
They didn't pick the right one. I'll guarantee it.
For over 40 years, American Electric has been family-owned and operated right here in WNC.
Wait a minute.
With 3 generations and over 100 dedicated
They
teammates.
didn't. Did you say they didn't pick the right one?
I guarantee you they didn't.
Electric. Visit
Who's the right
American
one?
Electric.
Priest Pizza Balla.
Has been committed.
His name is Pizza Balla. He's like the head of the Jerusalem Archdiocese.
West.
He's too young though. He's only 60 years old, so they wouldn't.
Really, auto workers in the country.
But when I found that out, I went, "Yep, that's the next pope. We got to have Popa Pizza Balla."
Vehicles and the capable people who build them, because our values can't be offshored. We do it for the people who make
If I ever told you make my head hurt.
Why?
Just the way your brain works. I was like, I know there's a joke here. I don't know what it is.
It's no joke. His name is Pizza Balla.
I'm aware.
Like I'm a baller, and I like pizza.
Mobility. Production data assembled in the USA with domestic and foreign parts based on 2024 year-end hourly employment data.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
At Ingles Markets, we're here to remind you that Mother's Day is Sunday, May 11th. And we at Ingles can make honoring the mothers in your life easy and fabulous. All that's left to bring is the love. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or ShowtimeSportsAVL.com.
Have you seen these West Virginia throwbacks?
mtngraphicsavl.com.
No.
Oh my God, dude, they are
for your
so
local
good.
one-stop custom apparel shop.
Looking to buy or sell an
I
Asheville?
hope it's the game we're going
Sells
to.
WNC with. We're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828.
They just white with the old school WV on the side?
No, they're the 65
This
units.
is J.W. Whitley.
So they're like
So it's a WVU on the side?
They've got the state, but the state's in like Carolina blue.
Okay.
It was a thing for like a year.
Okay.
But the uniforms are like navy, and the pants are like Notre Dame gold.
Strong disaster relief.
They're
Dedicated to
so
providing
clean.
Essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We are back on ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and so the Shadur Sanders thing continues. Just why do we have to do this? We're going to have to live with this every day from now until training camp, aren't we? I don't get the obsession.
We don't have to.
Every day there's a new story.
We don't have to deal with it. We can put Shadur Sanders on conversation probation, and frankly, I am so fond of that idea.
I just can't get past the fact that somebody filed a $100 million lawsuit against the NFL for stress.
Well, Tank,
because they had to sit there and watch Shadur Sanders fall in the draft 4 rounds.
Tank, this is the same world where we have to give kids days off of school because school stresses them out. Do you know how if I could go back to being 17 years old and go back to high school tomorrow, I would do it forever.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know when you want to know when stress really gets you? When the mortgage is due and there's $80 less in your bank account than the mortgage costs. That's when stress will really get to you, and your safe space is not going to save you.
Right? You don't know what stress is. Stop it with that. The lawsuit filed by unnamed Colorado Buffaloes fan, who's been a Colorado Buffaloes fan for 18 months.
Oh,
I
no
really
doubt.
feel bad for you. My first thought was it was filed in Georgia. So my first thought was, does Dion still have a house in Georgia, and did he file the lawsuit?
I'm going to say no.
It's like the only person that I know who could possibly make any kind of a case out of this. But then as I read through the story, I read one very important part that said this, and I lost the page here, so I don't have the technical term for it, but there was like a Latin term that they filed this under, which is basically, I filed this, but I don't have the money to pay for a trial. Okay, so why are we talking about this? It's because people are obsessed for some reason with celebrity in certain cases. It's Shadur Sanders, Bill Belichick. It's the most maddening thing. Like, it makes me yearn for actual football, but not to the point where I'm actually going to care about, like, spring football. Because why are these the things that we are focused on? Why are these the things people are talking about on social media? Why is this the crap that's showing up in my feed? It's just so maddening to me that we're creating this beast, and it doesn't deserve any of the sunlight that it's getting.
So can we officially say Shadur Sanders conversation probation?
Absolutely.
First person to ever be put on conversation probation 3 times. Let's go.
It is decided. Where's the thing?
Let's go.
Oh, you stole the thing.
What thing?
For the gavel.
No, it's on my shelf. It's up top. You can't see it because it's more than 6 feet off the ground. Get a step stool.
It's way up there in the closet.
Go ask Colby. He'll bring you a step stool. You get up there. Whoop. My story is almost equally stupid to yours. It's about baseball. Milwaukee Brewers have upset their fans. They came up with this great idea of the Brewers Hot Dog Club.
Okay.
For $59.99, you can join the Brewers Hot Dog Club, and you get a complimentary hot dog at every home game throughout the season. First of all, that insinuates that anybody goes to more than 8 of these, because if you do, you are a sadomasochist and you need to talk to a therapist immediately. But you get your hot dog, you pay your $60, you get your hot dog at every home game.
Mm-hmm.
They're charging tax on the complimentary hot dog. So when you come to get your complimentary hot dog, you show them your card, which in my head, it has like SpongeBob on it, and it's just really goofy, and it says Goofy Goobers, and it's, I want my hot dog, and I brought my card, and you give me my hot dog. They're charging like 97 cents in tax. So you have to pull out a credit card for every one of these hot dogs. So you're basically paying $1 a hot dog.
Okay.
That's not complimentary, bruh. That's not how complimentary works. Complimentary means you take care of the tax. All inclusive does not mean all inclusive, but, well, you got to do this too.
But you got to pay the taxes on it.
Why can baseball? Oh my God, it actually does. I didn't scroll down. The card has like a cartoon hot dog on it. That's so good. that is every bit as stupid as I thought it would be.
Oh yeah.
And it's wearing a little Brewers hat, and it looks like it's wearing Jordans.
So you pay $60 at the beginning of the year, or the idea is you become a member of the hot dog club at the beginning of the year. You pay $60 and you get a free hot dog every time you get there. But you're paying tax on the hot dog that they give you. Well, I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't think.
I don't get it. They went through and they thought, well, if we do this and can you get more than one hot dog every game?
Yes, but they're not complimentary. You only get one in the hot dog club per game.
Okay, so it's not like you can get as many hot dogs at whatever.
No, that would be fine. If that was the shtick, okay, now I'm fine with paying the $1 in tax. Because I'm going to eat 7 of them bad boys every single time I'm in this stadium. And aside from the angioplasty, I'm still going to come out on the better side of this.
Yes.
I don't think I would be more embarrassed if somebody found a Milwaukee Brewers hot dog club card in my wallet. I don't think I would be more embarrassed if they found my test shoot for Playgirl under the name of Mike Honcho. I think I would be more embarrassed if you found the Milwaukee Brewers hot dog club. Like, why would you say you did that? How stupid are you?
Well, I mean, a hot dog at the ballpark, what's the regular price?
Don't know. Hadn't been to one in 20 years.
Is it $4? I would be surprised if it's any less than $4 in Milwaukee.
I wouldn't know anything about a baseball stadium. Now, in a football stadium, over the course of last year's Living the Dream Tour, I paid everything from $2 for a hot dog to $17. So,
right. So
the data range is too wide.
So even if you're saying, you paid $5, let's call it, for a hot dog. It's a good round number. Pay $5 for a hot dog, you go to more than 10 games, you're going to get your money out of this. So I could see what if I'm a season ticket holder and I'm going to be there routinely, absolutely I'd buy one of these things. Now I'd probably scratch my head and go, wait a minute, you're charging me $1 for a hot dog that's supposed to be free? That's going to have a problem. But I'm also going to be buying a beer at the same time. So, if you're just walking up to the window with your little card going, I want my free hot dog, and you're not spending another dime, okay, I could see where that's going to be a problem. But for the most part, you're going to be buying a soda, too, so they just tack that 97 cents on. And
it's called a loss leader, Tank. It's like sales 101. It's a loss leader. I lose money on this. I'm going to make money on everything else. Mm-hmm. When you go to McDonald's and they're like, hey, you get a free, if you have enough points, you get a free quarter pounder. Well, if you get a quarter pounder, you also want fries and a drink. Well, that doesn't come with the free one. When you add the fries and the drinks, like $7 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Math's not hard. We have 2 comments that are really, really good in our YouTube chat. Stone Sports Podcast asked, is the plaintiff on that Georgia lawsuit Mel Kiper? If it was from Maryland, I would be sure it was Mel. And Gary Burt said, plaintiff Leon Sandcastle. That's a deep cut, and I love it.
I don't remember that one.
That was Deion Sanders. He did. I can't remember who the campaign was for, but he was Leon Sandcastle. He was re-entering the draft, and he ran like a 4.340, but it was Deion with a wig on.
Okay. That's a deep dive.
I'm also stuck on, I feel like with this Brewers hot dog club thing, I feel like somebody has gone to the ballpark in Milwaukee and been really disappointed because they had to pay the $1 for their hot dog. Mm-hmm. And then they got in their car and they drove to Little Pterodactyl Bay, the Boosie's Pleasure Club, and they went boot scooting. And They danced.
You couldn't. They'd close it by the time you got there.
The mullets and the beers were flowing that night, my friends.
There's no way. You went to the ball game and you were there till 10 o'clock, and you didn't make it up to Pterodactyl Bay until 12:30 a.m.
Overpriced hot dogs, underpriced beers, perfectly coiffed perms. Boosie's Pleasure Club. Little Pterodactyl Bay, Wisconsin.
Yes. I take this opportunity once again to tell you all, if you've never been to Wisconsin, don't go. Because there's nothing there you need.
I knew you were going to say that. If you've never been, don't.
Don't bother. Did I tell you I had that conversation with my mother?
Yeah. She'd always wanted to see something up there.
Right, like well, she just always talks about there are places that I want to see before I die. I just want to make sure she knocked that one off her list.
Yeah, you could put a big X on that one. And you know what? It was the people were lovely. It was just from a logistic standpoint, it was not easy, and you made it even harder than it should be.
Mm-hmm. It's a fine, tradition laden thing you got going on up there, and you know what? I respect it. You can have it because I don't need to participate in it at all.
Another story. Speaking of overpriced things, Gabriel Davis got cut yesterday by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
I did some math, Tank. Well. I don't often do math, but I enjoy math when it's simple like this.
Yeah.
How many games did Gabriel Davis play for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
It wasn't much, was it?
It was
17? 10. 10.
He played 10 games. He was the LMNO 7th leading receiver on the team last year with a paltry 20 receptions, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns. How much money did Gabe Davis make for those 20 receptions on 42 targets for 239 yards, 2 touchdowns?
It's like $18 million?
$39 million.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, if you told me,
that's
all right. And now I want to throw this out there to every NFL team, the Savannah Bananas, anybody that just has a really creative marketing team. If you will give me $39 million, you can hit me with a truck 20 times. Now, we're going to have to negotiate the speed because I don't want it doing 65. 22? I'll try it. I can't promise you I'll get to 20. I might tap out and go, I got $20 million. I've done it 10 times. I think I'm going to go home now.
Right.
Gabriel Davis made almost $2 million per reception. He made just under $1 million per target. And I must say, I would say this was not predictable, except we very vocally predictabled it.
That we did. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Coming up after the break here at the top of the hour, we will start the discussion. The most improved teams throughout the offseason.
Gonna fight.
So far. And what?
We're gonna fight.
Oh, we're gonna fight.
I'm like a dog. I'm sitting behind the cage and gonna bite, want to bite, gonna open the door, gonna bite. I'm gonna do it because you're gonna say something stupid that's gonna make me angry.
Most improved teams coming up next here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Let's play a fun game. How many of the top 3 leading receivers for the Jacksonville Jaguars can you name from last year?
This afternoon and tonight, highs in the upper 70s to near 8.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Won by almost 900 yards.
During the day Friday, otherwise mix of clouds and sun, not quite as.
Christian Kirk.
Not in the top 3. He only played 8 games.
Downward during Sunday, otherwise more clouds than sun near 70. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the
Nick Westbrook-Akina.
Sponsored
Wrong
by
team.
Lowe's. Savings are in full bloom at Lowe's. Right now, get Miracle.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Wrong team
for
again.
just $2.
I feel like you should have said Evan Ingram at some point. You would have still been wrong, but you should have said it.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Are you just saying random receivers at this point?
Hyphenated receivers, yes.
Allstate first.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I hate you. If you hadn't pointed that out, I'd have never figured out that's what you were doing.
No, wait, my phone, come back.
The number 2 receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars last year was Brenton Strange.
Yeah, let's go.
For a quote that could
40 catches for 411 yards. That was their 2.
Right.
Their 3 was Parker Washington.
Did that for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
News.
Their 3 was Parker Washington.
Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation.
Parker Washington can't lose.
$3 for a limited time.
I don't know what that means, but I feel like it's a joke that I don't understand.
Son of Baconator.
That was that TV show for the Parker Lewis show that Peter always made fun of on Family Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Parker Lewis can't lose.
Valid in a combo or in third party?
Because he's Parker Lewis.
Annoyingly inattentive. Do you watch a movie and then act?
Because he's Parker Lewis and he doesn't lose.
You know who we won't be talking about today in most improved teams? The Jacksonville Jaguars.
They can
Carolina just cut Jadeveon Clowney, too.
Memorial Day sale. Get a
Nice.
So we can come back with your breaking news thing. We haven't done that in a while.
Get matched at mattress.
Okay.
I made a breaking news graphic and everything. We've only used it like 2 times.
Luxury is having a choice between Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Craving Boxes. It's luxury because there's no wrong choices. There's just right cravings. So choose your Lux Cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating stores while supplies last. Prices vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And we're the Chainsaw Brothers. Actually, we're
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
in the driveway having a couple of beers.
You're still naming random hyphenated receivers.
We heard so many people calling needing trees removed.
Why?
Had to buy a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers.
JJ Ortega Whiteside.
13. Look,
that was a deep cut.
You loved him.
I did. I thought he was going to be so good.
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013.
And I'm sure in the XFL he probably was.
1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors.
Actually, I think he was. He was like the MVP of that league one time, wasn't he?
I don't think he was that good, but I think he was good.
The season never ends in the Sportsocracy. There is no off-season with these guys.
And we drafted everything.
Weekdays at noon on ESPN Asheville.
We just love football.
Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina is doing it again. Their next car show for a cause is coming up Saturday, May 24th. Cars Against Breast Cancer at the Advanced Auto Parts in Oakley Plaza, 801 Fairview Road. It'll be an afternoon of family-friendly fun with a 50-50 and raffle prizes, including a PS5 and the grand prize, a week in a condo in Myrtle Beach, Tennessee, or Virginia. There'll be live music, face painting, and games for the kids. Join Wheels for Meals Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
From the Ingalls Studio,
WPEK Fairview,
WMXF Waynesville,
W225CJ Candler,
the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Fun. That's fun. Enter it now.
Oh, I meant to ask you. I've had several people ask me what happened to the podcast.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Do what?
The podcast hadn't been posted in like 2 weeks.
Just
really? Okay, my bad. I'll check it out.
All right.
Time dose of dumbassery, live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat. It is Most Improved Team Day in the NFL offseason breakdown here in the Sportsocracy because, well, we just can't quit football.
Oh, well, I mean, we don't want to do anything else. We can talk about how the Boston Celtics just Dave Portnoy, buddy, you should stop saying games are over because when you do, I think they hear it and go, okay, we go home now. Play three quarters of the game, still get a full snow cone. So, great snow cone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, blowing 2 straight 20-point leads to go down 0-2 to the New York Knicks. That's not good.
My Nuggets last night lost by a lot and allowed a guy to score 10 points that I thought used to open for Montel Jordan. So Ajay Mitchell, I swear to God that was an R&B singer's name. I know it was. He scored 10 points for Oklahoma City last night.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of that feller before. Didn't know he played basketball, but yeah, he scored 10 points on the Nuggets last night.
Oh, it didn't go well. Game 2 did not go well.
No.
But it is what it is. Most improved teams in the NFL throughout the offseason. We started to have the pre-show discussion about this, and then we got completely sidetracked by one team. And I guess that's where we want to start here, Jeremy.
It is, and it's a team that we have breaking news about.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
The Carolina Panthers have released Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh,
Jadeveon Clowney is the buying a boat of the NFL. We should buying a bar. Like we should buy a bar. That's the stupidest thing you ever said out loud. Spoken from someone who did. He sounds good in principle, but he's not. He's not good at football. He hasn't been good at football for a long time. And teams just bring him in for a year and then back to the pit of misery you go.
Well, because it's better than nothing. Having Jadeveon Clowney is better than having no pass rush at all, which is...
Is it, though?
Where the Carolina Panthers were last year.
Is that not just two ways of saying the exact same thing?
Sure.
You can have no pass rush, or you can have Jadeveon Clowney, which is the same as no pass rush. Yeah, he had 9.5 sacks with Baltimore. He had 9 sacks with Cleveland the year they were good. 9 twice with Houston, with J.J. Watt on the other side. You ever notice that when he's the guy, it's a lot of 5.5, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4.5. I don't think I've ever been more wrong about a player than I was about Jadeveon Clowney. I thought there was no missing him. This kid will be a stud for the next 10 years, no matter what. Instead, he's been pretty good for 3 of the last 10 years. Other than that, didn't really matter. And he's played for almost every team in the league.
Right. There's a reason that he became a mercenary, like, real quick, didn't he? I guess so. He spent 5 years in Houston, then he got the big payday from Seattle, didn't he? And then he's bounced to a different team just about every year since then.
He has played for a team consecutive years one time in the last 6 years. He's played for 5 teams in 6 years, and he's getting ready to make it 6 and 7.
He's just a hired gun of, we're coming down to the end of the offseason, and we didn't get all the guys that we wanted to get, so we got to have something. Jadeveon Clowney. He'll be the best we can get at the late stage. Because did he make it into the season one of those years? I want to say there was a season like he made it into the first 2 weeks of the season where he didn't get signed by anybody.
Yeah, I think it was when he played for Tennessee. Because he only played 8 games in Tennessee.
Okay. He was holding out for more money. He wanted more money and couldn't find it anywhere, and then it was just wait around and see. Because I feel like we were doing that at the same time with Cam Newton. Maybe my timeline's off.
Do you know how much money Jadeveon Clowney's made in his 11 years in the NFL?
Way more than he's worth.
It's almost $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a lot.
Because he got paid on the he got paid on the name.
That one hit he had at Michigan,
he got paid. Yes,
made him
he got paid on the Outback Bowl.
$1
Wasn't it the Outback Bowl?
Yes,
where he absolutely demolished some Michigan running back, made his helmet pop off and everything, and we all went, "Oh my God, this guy's a freak! Can't wait till he gets to the NFL." And then he got to the NFL, and as Jeremy said, he was good at times. He's never great. I remember you and I going round and round about Jadeveon Clowney because I was, I think he's fine. He's not great. He gets pressure, but he doesn't get home. He doesn't get the stats.
Can I make a comp on him that's not going to make sense now, but it's going to make a lot of sense about 8 years from now?
Okay.
He and Michael Williams are going to have the exact same career. They'll never be what you wanted them to be.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Michael probably plays similar time frame. He's going to be really good against the run, and the sack numbers are always going to let you down.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's got a stud on the other side, you might see some better numbers. That's it.
Could be. I mean, I'm trying to think in recent memory if there's another player that rivals him as far as hype. Ndamukong Suh,
who sadly enough had a very similar career.
Right. Because it was so good in college. Because you got so, I don't want to say duped because I feel like that's cheapening them and what they were in college because they were fantastic in college. But and remember, we were talking Ndamukong Suh should have the Heisman. I remember having that discussion of he should at least be in consideration.
Yeah, it was before I knew you. I laughed at every person that said that.
I'm sure you did.
I mean, aggressively.
I'm sure you did. He did things that we had never seen before from a defensive tackle at the college level. And he went into the NFL, and I mean, he had a couple of good years to start out, but he never did have that 15-sack season that we expected he would at some point because he was so dominant at the college level.
Jadeveon Clowney
his
has
high water mark was 10.
He's never gotten to 10.
Rookie year.
He's never gotten to 10.
Ndamukong did.
Oh, Ndamukong did.
Yeah, Ndamukong hit 10 his rookie year. And
I thought you were talking about Jadeveon Clowney still.
No, that was the high water mark for his career. So, I mean, the stats line up there. Although you got to give Ndamukong, I think, a little bit more credit because he's not an edge rusher. He had similar sack totals to Jadeveon Clowney as a defensive tackle. To me, that puts him a little bit above it. But not by much. They're all named. They're all overrated.
Oh, that's a game we could play one day during this offseason. That would just be a hoot.
What is that?
The all overrated team.
Ooh.
I want to do that next week.
Okay.
I want you to write that down because I will forget it.
All right. I'll make a note here. The all overrated. Okay.
This is one of those times I wish people could see the computer screens at Mullet Manor. Right now, I have flights to 17 different cities pulled up on my computer right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're working on the Living the Dream Tour Part 2. And I'm trying to get the logistics done because I want to go to the beach. I want to sit on the beach and drink a margarita and just not care for like 2 weeks. But Tank made me do a mock draft, and next thing I do, I was right back in the draft again.
I'll see how that's my fault.
It's 100% your fault. You got me watching tape. You know how I am. I'm an addict. I can't just play with, like, I have a beer when I go out. Nope. Next thing you know, I'm playing Edward 40 Hands at noon on a Tuesday.
I apologize. I'll know better next year.
No, you won't. You'll do it again.
We'll wait at least a week.
We did wait a week.
We'll wait 2 weeks next time. How about that?
Yeah, you knew what you were doing. Don't you play stupid with me. You knew what you were doing.
This should be easy. Just rip off a couple of names. I didn't know I was going to send you down a spiral of 5 straight days of watching tape.
I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. I'm just
sorry about
all
that.
I can do is smoke tape. I don't know where I was going with that. There was
no. So anyway, the Carolina Panthers, they have released Jadeveon Clowney. As we started the discussion of most improved teams in the NFL, Jeremy first said, I think the Panthers have to be on that list. And maybe you could put them on that list.
I want you to make the argument that they're not.
Okay.
Because I'd love to hear it.
Okay, I have a quarterback that played 5 good games last year. I mean, we see the potential projection here of maybe he's figured it out. He's more comfortable. He was definitely throwing with more, confidence at the end of last year. Things were jiving at the end of the year. Things are starting to improve for that offense. I get it. We made some draft picks on the defensive side. Okay, maybe that's going to improve this team. But what did they add that really is going to make a huge difference?
Defense.
Okay, but what? I mean, they get Derek Brown back from injury, that adds to the defense.
That helps. You added an actual honest-to-God nose tackle in Bobby Brown, who's, if we were doing an all-underrated team, which we're going to have to now do that too,
mm-hmm.
he would be on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Your linebackers are better.
I can stop the run better.
Yeah, well, your linebackers are better because you added Josie Jewell and Christian Roseboom, which is better than anybody that played in that spot last year. You had Nick Hurton for a Skorton.
Mm-hmm.
You had Trayvon Morrig to back at safety. That's all better. Like, the defense can physically not be worse than they were last year.
Agreed.
There is a good chance. Now, I'm just looking at this is how ESPN has it listed right now. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 new starters on this defense. And they're every single one better than who played in those spots last year. That's going to be an improvement. And then you look at where I really see it is in the second team. And you got guys like Lathan Ransom and A'Shawn Robinson. A'Shawn Robinson played a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't be. He's a rotational piece. And you just see all of the things with Carolina, and you go, you know what? This is okay. I'm not telling you it's great. I said they should be on the list. And then you said a thing that made my brain bleed.
Okay. And what was that?
And we'll say what that was after the commercial break. But before we go into the commercial, we have a super chat. Go ahead and tell you they will be discussed. Can't tell you they will be in my top 5. Said better late than never. Joining us from work. That's commitment. When you want your daily dose of dumbassery whilst working, that is commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And we laud all of you that do it.
Most definitely we do. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. All right, you're clear.
New Pope's from Chicago.
Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular...
No way.
And it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find...
I just saw Kelvin post it.
Wow, look at that. We got an American Pope.
Are you kidding me?
Any adventure, the first step.
That was like the one thing I knew wasn't going to happen.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions.
Wow.
I never heard his name in any of the articles that I heard, like
Secret
potential
time?
popes.
Every time we do this with potential popes, which feels like when coaches for the Patriots get fired, we start getting like the hot board. I've never seen one on a hot board get named Pope.
There's still time. Come to Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale and get a queen mattress and adjustable base for just $4.90.
Robert Prevost.
Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
She's back. Khloe Kardashian returns to On Purpose with Jay Shetty, and she's getting real about healing and self-love. Plus, Caroline Leavitt shares what it's like being the youngest White House press secretary.
Can he pick like an American name? Like,
and
I don't know.
The funniest stories you'll hear with Chelsea Handler on the Dear Chelsea podcast.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeart.
Pope Joe.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC,
he's the first American Pope ever.
It's about people.
Yeah.
Today, Clarissa Marshall at 8.
He's Pope Leo the 14th.
Leo the 14th. Okay.
First most, you.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night.
I'm impressed that I could read the Roman numeral. Thanks, Super Bowl.
County and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina is.
We have another super chat, and I feel like we have to announce that that we have a
Cars
Pope.
Against Breast Cancer at the Advanced Auto Parts in Oakley Plaza, 801 Fairview Road. It'll be an afternoon
He's from
of
Chirac.
family fun with a 50-50 and raffle prizes, including a PS. Say that again, sorry.
I said I feel like we have to. We have a super chat, and then we feel like we have to announce we have a new Pope, and he's from Chirac.
Yeah. Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
We're back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It's 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. This is going to be a first for the Sportsocracy, I feel like. Breaking actual news on the program today. I have to wait. I have to hit the special Pope Watch music. Yes, there has been.
You planned that, didn't you? You didn't tell me that was coming.
I did. I was playing that all morning this morning on the morning show. Every time Mark said Pope Watch, I had to play that Gregorian music because every time he said it in my head, that's what was happening. We have a new pope, and for the first time ever, we have an American pope. Pope Leo the 14th is from Chicago. I never thought that we would see an American pope.
I didn't think we could have an American pope.
But what do you mean? You didn't think we were eligible?
Look, I was married into a Catholic family at one time. That is the only, and they were, what was the term? They backslid Catholics. That is the only thing I know about Catholicism.
Lapsed Catholic.
Lapsed Catholic, that was it.
Yeah.
And I know we had to go to a church service the night before Christmas that felt like I was doing up-downs in high school again. Like, could you decide if you want me to be standing or sitting? Because I'll do either one, but this is putting a lot of stress on my knees.
Yes. So, what is? I lost the article that had his name on it. It was Robert something.
Prevost.
Robert Prevost is now Pope Leo the 14th and hails from Chicago, Illinois. Shocker of shockers. Oh man, I cannot wait. I mean, I don't have Truth Social. Do you have Truth Social? I got to see what he's saying.
No.
I have to see what he's saying about it. He's trying to rename all things around the world. I can't wait till we have an American in the Vatican City. He's going to try to rename that next.
Oh, he's going to take credit for it, that's for sure. No other president could make it happen, but here I am. Only been here for 4 months. Already got an American in the Vatican.
Exactly.
I can hear it already.
Oh, my God. Oh.
I can't believe you asked me if I had Truth Social. Have you lost your mind? I barely have Twitter.
I'm just curious.
I saw a documentary the other day. I couldn't sleep, and I was looking for a documentary to fall asleep to. And I saw the rise and fall of the bird, and it was Twitter, and I went, when did the fall happen? When did the rise happen? It never made any money. What does it matter? They duped Elon Musk into buying it. That was the rise and fall.
Yep.
Oh, I almost made a terrible joke right there. To the China go!
All right, so actual breaking news here in the Sportocracy today. There is a new pope, and he hails from right here in America. That's the heads up that the new pope's from Chicago, using his member chat for that. Red Sea says, I have an alarm set for 11:55 every weekday just for this show. That's dedication.
That is dedication. And I think he's in Connecticut, too. A place that it does appear we may be making an appearance during the Living the Dream Tour.
Really?
Yeah.
That could be a lot of fun.
If you can draw the tea leaves of how we get there, you're way smarter than me. Because I never saw this coming, and then it just fell in my lap, and I went, well, looks like we're doing that.
I don't. Where in Connecticut is he from?
It's not a big state, because there's not a ton of options.
No, I would imagine that.
I think he's by Yukon. I think he said that one day.
Okay, so I need to know, have you or have you not been to Bear Smokehouse Barbecue North? Because that's where they came from.
Mm-hmm. Right? Have you heard that balls is the word? I said balls. Sorry. I've wanted to do that for 2 weeks, and that's the first time I had an opportunity.
Good for you. Good for you. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy. Jeremy, you were just over there yesterday, weren't you?
I was. I had the lovely Mac Attack, which has now been 3 meals for me. I ate it at 7 o'clock last night. I ate it about 2 o'clock this morning, and I had it for lunch today. And I'm a fatman, so that tells you you're getting some substantial portions.
Mm-hmm. Bears does meat like few others can. Their pit masters are awesome. I've not had a single thing from there where I went, that's all right. Everything is amazing, from the sides to the meats to the cornbread to right down to the beer, of course, because they do like to they do like to flow the beers there. Because what goes better with barbecue than beer? And of course, balls, the bear balls. You got to check those out. The Moink balls as well. We got everything on that menu pretty much is my favorite. I will continue to sing the praises of the Texas pepper barbecue sauce.
Bought a bottle of it yesterday.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it might be sitting around here. Did I put it on my desk? In the next break, I will get it and show that bottle that I bought at Bear Smokehouse yesterday.
I wouldn't suggest putting it on the desk. The desk probably still will not taste good with the sauce on it.
It would. It would. It's a particle board desk. The barbecue sauce soak right into it. I eat it right now. I just need the desk.
Yes. I have taken to putting the Texas pepper hot sauce, or not hot sauce, the Texas pepper barbecue sauce is a little spicy, on everything, from steaks to mixing it in with your mac and cheese. Like, it's good. It's good on
so
everything.
Good.
It is. BearsBBQ.com. That is the website. Don't forget that they have live music every Thursday night and every weekend as well. I believe tonight is the first concert of their WTF concert series, which is Women to the Front, celebrating local artists who are of the female persuasion. So you can check that out tonight at Bears Barbecue, South Slope in downtown Asheville. Thank you. 135 Cox Avenue. Of course, they have a South Asheville location as well inside Sweeten Creek Brewing on Sweeten Creek Road.
We will have so I have an announcement about Bear Smokehouse. I do not have the date on this yet. It will be sometime in the month of May. We will be announcing the first part of Living the Dream 2025 from Bear Smokehouse live on this here program one day in the month of May. I don't know what day yet.
All right.
And I'm very excited. There are so many. When I said, we're going to tone down the travel this year, but we're going to see a lot of stuff, yep, I lied. Because the travel is already double what it was a year ago. So I am a glutton for punishment.
I was going to say, why?
Well, because people say, hey, you should do this. And I go, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. You should go to this place. Yep, sure can. And then I go to this place and I go, oh, there's 3 events around it. We could do that for 4 and 3 days. Let's go, because I don't need to sleep ever.
All right, it is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And don't forget to go and patronize our good friends over at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy. All right.
Is that how you use I mean, don't patronize them. That would be like making fun of them.
No, not that way. No, you
should give them your patronage, not patronize them.
Yes. It's the same thing. We're both saying the same.
No, it's
not. Back to the discussion here. Carolina Panthers. So vastly improved, are they?
The defense is exponentially better. Okay. The offense has had a year to come together. Mm-hmm. Bryce Young was really good by the end of last year. You said he had a couple good games.
Yeah.
In the last 5 games of the season, his QBR was over 60 and 4 of 5. We don't want to talk about that 5th one. Mm-hmm. That was against Dallas, and that was not a fun day.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good.
He was. He was really good. And hopefully that continues. But I still have a small sample size of him being really good. Will it continue? Maybe. I like his chances of continuing it with Ted McMillan in the building now. He gave me an actual weapon. Maybe with another year, this offensive line gets a little bit better. Not that they were terrible to begin with. That was not a bad offensive line. They were probably middle of the road last year. So, I mean, there are things to be excited about. When you said earlier that you would rather be the Carolina Panthers than the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, that's a no-brainer. Of course you would. There's future there. There's a lot of excitement around the building because it's a young coach. It's a young atmosphere. You've got everything trending to we're building something here. Pittsburgh's just trying to hold on to something.
All right, I'm gonna.
The Carolina Panthers, are they definitely better than a 5-win team? Okay, yes. By a game maybe. I don't know that I can give them much more than that.
What you said was before this show that made blood come out of my ears was I don't see a lot of difference between the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, not really.
Okay, let's play a game. Who has a better quarterback?
I will say Carolina.
I was about to say, this is about the only team in the NFL that I can comfortably say it's Carolina. Better set of running backs, Carolina or New Orleans?
I'd go New Orleans on that
It's set of running backs. Notice I said that.
Yeah,
Alvin Kamara
outweighs everything Carolina has.
I don't know that I agree with you, but I'll cede that one to you because I'm not going to lose another one.
Okay.
Wide receivers. It's Carolina. It's not close. You have Chris Olave, who's one good shot to the head away from never playing another game in this league again. And nothing else. Because you somehow did not address that, which I do not understand.
Mm-hmm.
Tight ends, Carolina by a mile. Offensive line, Carolina by a mile.
Okay.
Front seven of the defense, Carolina by a mile. Then you get in secondary, and I don't love either one of your secondaries.
It's just a lot of hope that you're putting into that.
No, I know what they were last year. They're improved at every single position with hand-picked players. This is one of those times that, and look, I love Dan Morgan. He's one of the only Miami legacies that I just love because I know him personally.
Okay.
I think he did a great job of rebuilding this team on the fly. They play practically the same schedule. And I'm telling you, I think the New Orleans Saints are the worst team in the NFL. I think they have literally tapped on this year to have the number one pick next year. Everybody's worried about Tyler Shuck. I think you're worried about the wrong thing. Because I don't think anybody cares. They took a shot on a guy that a lot of teams liked. If he doesn't work out this year, and trust me, if he doesn't play week one, I'll be stunned. If he doesn't work out, then you're looking for another one next year. New Orleans is resetting the decks. They did it very quietly. And they made some moves that didn't make a ton of sense. That New Orleans team is bad. Carolina is way closer to Atlanta and Tampa Bay than they are to New Orleans. I also don't think that highly of Tampa Bay, and I don't really think that highly of Atlanta. So that might be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was a Carolina Panther fan, I would have a lot of reasons to be really excited right now.
Sure. I just don't know that it's going to be vastly different this year. Still going to be in that 7-win range, maybe?
The Vegas line on them 6.5, I've already made a sizable wager on the over.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
because it's dumb. Because when you look at the teams that are around them, it's not even – it's like them, the Jets, Cleveland, and New Orleans. If you can look at those two rosters side by side and tell me that one of them is not very obviously better than the others, I don't know what to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, they play the easiest schedule of the 4. That tells me a lot. Because you got to remember, with tiebreaker, New Orleans finished 3rd last year. Panthers finished 4th. They play the worst team in every division in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot more faith in Carolina than you do.
Yes, you do. But to me, that's still splitting hairs. Because is this team a contender? Do you see a window?
Contender for what?
Do you see a window where this team wins the division this year?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, you got way more faith than I do.
I think you're I think you're undervaluing how little faith I have in the other two entities. You've basically handed me a rebuilding Carolina roster, a Todd Bowles team with expectations, and a team coached by Raheem Morris, and you're asking me to pick which one of those girls is the prettiest. As Gary Birch just said, the prettiest one is the prettiest waitress at Waffle House. So I'm just telling you, we got 3 here, and then we got Marge. Marge has been here since the Kennedy administration. She didn't qualify for this vote. That's the New Orleans Saints.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Most improved teams over the offseason so far. Continues after this.
ESPN Asheville. Your mountain weather.
All right, we're clear.
Thank you.
Warmer this afternoon.
We got 2 super chats. Are we doing weird?
Storms late this afternoon and tonight. Highs in the upper.
Probably not.
Afternoon, mid-50s tonight. We'll keep
I think we should. We hadn't done it in forever.
I think we should. Okay.
Mix of clouds and sun, not quite as warm tomorrow afternoon. Highs in the low part of the 70s.
I'm adamantly trying to sell it right now, and we haven't done it in 3 weeks, so that's
sun 70. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. Like the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with the JBC 4-piece nugs, fries, and a small soft drink. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon, all the time. Duh. For the best deal, gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Out here, you'll find a community of hardworking creators with loyal followers, along with proud moments worth sharing. And farm to table, well, that's just supper. And whether it's a raised garden bed, acres of land, or something for your animals, we've got all the supplies and are happy to share a little know-how.
Welcome to Tractor Supply. Into life out here.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So, this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on
what is your weird story?
Super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
At Ingles Markets, we're here to remind you that Mother's Day is Sunday, May
I'm assuming
11th.
you can hear me.
Ingles can make honoring the mothers in your life easy and fabulous. Ingles Floral is ready with fresh bouquets of roses and other locally sourced flowers. The rest of the store is ready with cards, wrapping supplies, balloons, chocolates, and all the ingredients for Mom's special breakfast.
Are you not hearing me
all
right
that's
now?
left to bring is the love. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
You there?
Yeah, I've been. Can you not hear me for 45 seconds?
I didn't have you pulled up on the board.
I was like,
I didn't have
it's
you
not
in my
good.
ear.
Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We're back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and today's weird story, mine anyway, comes to us from the great state of Indiana. Been through that state way too many times in the last year.
It's a lovely state that Tank struggles to drive in. We almost died in it twice.
Oh, we did not. It didn't even come close to
Well, one of them I don't really know because I was asleep. I just heard one 17-second horn honk and went, "What are we doing? Where are we?" I turned into Nick Cage. Who? What? Where are we doing right now?
Right. And the other was a little car. He wouldn't have done any damage.
Well, I mean, we would have picked him out of the grill, but you would have been at fault and probably gone to prison.
It'd have been fun.
I would have loved hearing you tell the cop it was my turn.
Yeah,
but
it was my turn.
That light said it was not.
The light was wrong. Sometimes the light's wrong. I don't know how you would talk yourself out of this one either, though. A bus driver driving a bunch of kids to a school field trip in Davies County, Indiana. Davies County Sheriff's Office says the dispatch received a call that a school bus had gotten stuck in the mud in the median of one of the roads in Washington, Indiana. They arrived to find 55-year-old Stephen W. Truelove. Mr. Truelove had been the one driving the bus that was stuck in the mud. Remember, he was on his way to a school field trip. So my question to you would be, it doesn't say in the story, but what time of day would you guess that this was happening?
I would have to say early in the morning.
Right, like you drive to a school field trip early in the day, correct?
I would think.
His blood alcohol level was 221. Excuse me? He went out and partied with Jeremy Greene last night.
Well, it was
And his frat
.221.
brothers.
If it was
That's what I
221, he would have been super dead. Because that's 5 times lethal.
Yeah. 221 is a lot.
.221. Now, I'm not trying to defend this feller. I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If this was really early in the morning and he went really hard last night, you lose .02 per hour. If you're a normal-sized human being. If you're really large or really small, that can be discrepant.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if he only got 4 or 5 hours of sleep, maybe he went real hard to paint last night.
How are you not legally dead?
Bad decision, for sure. Don't drive children after boozing, even if it was the night before.
No.
Just, you need to be in night by 10 o'clock.
If that's anywhere near like .03, I don't want you driving my kid's school bus. Like I'll give you the like the .03 or whatever, because I mean you could get that from mouthwash. But excuse me, you're 3 times the legal limit. I believe you need to go to jail for that one.
Yeah, that feller lives by that old Sammy Hagar song. I can't drive below a .05. Is that not the words of that song?
Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I thought so.
4 adults, 38 children were removed from the bus. Thankfully, no one was injured. Truelove has been charged with operating a vehicle while intoxicated.
Your story is from Indiana. Mine's from Ohio, but it had a lot of the same elements. Mine's about 55-year-old Victoria Vidal. She did crimes. She was pulled over in Ohio because she had the double whammy, an active warrant and a suspended license to a car that was registered to her. Now, oddly enough, she had a suspended license and an active warrant, but the license plate on the car was valid. Usually it's the trifecta, the Holy Trinity.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Active warrant, suspended license, dead tag. She only hit 2.
Mm-hmm.
They pull her over and they figure out very quickly, there's something wrong. There's something amiss in this story. She was arrested solely for operating a vehicle with a suspended license and for the active warrant.
Mm-hmm.
So they take her back to the car here in Springfield Township. And then what do you do after you get the suspect apprehended? You search the vehicle. Well, when they came back to search the vehicle, they found something that I don't think they quite expected. It was a raccoon with a crack pipe in its hand. I must say that again because I don't think you heard what I just said. They found a crack pipe in the hand of a raccoon.
Yeah, they did.
The raccoon's name was Chewy, and apparently he was very fond of the recreational narcotics because even after they took the crack pipe away from him, he lunged for it again.
Of course he did.
Because he's high on crack.
Right.
Don't get your raccoon high. I didn't think I was ever going to have to say that, but apparently I did. I have so many questions here. One, why do you smoke crimes? Don't smoke crimes. It's illegal. It's bad. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to smoke the cannabis, fine. The methamphetamine, we don't do that. That's how you wind up with no toofus. Why do you have a raccoon in the car? Like, if it's your pet, okay, like you have a pet raccoon. Why is it in the car with you? You can have a pet Burmese python, but why is it in the car with you?
Well, wait a minute. These people can take their dogs with them everywhere they go. Why can't I take my raccoon?
Because a dog is a normal pet. What is it? Domesticated. Yeah, the dog knows it's a dog. That person right there keeps me alive, so I don't nibble on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Raccoons have no such programming.
You don't know that.
And they have creepy little hands that can hold on to things that freak me out.
That's really
because their little fingers are so tiny. And it was the number one thing that freaked me out about watching this video is I see little crack pipe Chewy here that's like just got his little fingers wrapped around the. Raccoons freak me out. Like, I do not like varmints. I really don't like varmints with fingers.
Yeah.
Have I ever told you my raccoon story that Amy still makes fun of me to this day? We lived in the woods at one point. We had a house that was up on top of a mountain in the woods. Well, I am what we like to call the city mouse. So I don't really understand about living in the country, even though I did when I was a kid. Dad handled everything. I didn't have to. I was not on varmint control at any time. So I did not know that if you leave trash cans with the lid up, raccoons will get into them.
No doubt.
Well, the trash can was right beside the front door. I had to throw away some trash. I'm not paying attention. And me and Chewy too here had a very uncomfortable come to Jesus moment where I hit him with a bag of trash. He fell in the garbage can. Now is pinned underneath the garbage. And now I have a varmint in my garbage can and I have to deal with that. And I didn't know how to deal with that. Like, I don't know what to do now because now he's pissed. Like he's not happy at all. Mm-hmm. I just closed the lid and went, that can be tomorrow's problem. I don't know what to do about you, Chewy, too.
Yeah.
You go to your own home and you don't habitate in my garbage can.
Mm-hmm. Except for none of this was explained to the raccoon in a, semi-sane way. The way I heard the story, Jeremy squealed like a little girl.
I can't say on this show what I said. I said it in an octave that would make dogs very uncomfortable.
It's so funny.
I think high-pitched squealing might be, okay, we might be exaggerating that a little bit.
Yep.
But I may have said, excrement in an octave that would be higher than my normal speaking voice.
Right, because raccoons are terrifying. They have little fingers, and they're rabid, and that's what we've been told about raccoons.
They have the rabbies. I don't want to deal with the rabbies. They have little fingers that freak me out.
Uh-huh.
I think
it's funny that you're questioning why Methany would have a raccoon in the car. Why wouldn't she have a raccoon in the car?
I just love that you called her Methany.
Of course she has a pet raccoon.
Methany Crackpipe arrested for methamphetamine.
No doubt. She'll put her crack pipe out on your couch. You think you got a problem with the cigarettes?
These one's good.
My favorite part of that whole video was the cop. Was like, you're not going to believe what's over here, buddy, but don't touch that, ma'am. This is evidence now. And he was cackling. This raccoon had the meth pipe in his hand. Like, I believe these charges just up themselves.
Well, I mean,
quite a bit.
Well, I mean, they upped themselves for possession. It's not because the raccoon had it. I will say they should have deputized the raccoon.
They could have. You could definitely charge for animal cruelty.
Yeah, with what Methany got charged with, I don't think animal cruelty was going to be real high on that list of charges.
Mm-hmm.
You have 5 years in jail, 10 years in jail, 2 years in jail, and a $250 fine for giving a crack pipe to your raccoon.
Ooh, I'll guarantee you the penalty's worse than that.
For a raccoon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A raccoon will eat anything. They're like goats with fingers. Oh, another animal that freaks. Why? I don't like animals. I just don't.
He just hates animals.
They're delicious. Some of them.
Mm-hmm.
willing to get creative on which ones are in the delicious category.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them freak me out. Like goats scream. Why do you do that? And they faint if they get scared.
Some of them do, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a critter that we need to talk to new Pope about. Talk to your boss because he screwed this one up. This one faints every time you scare it. That's not normal.
Yeah, but dogs just pee in the floor. So I mean, they have their red flags as well.
So do tanks when you scare them bad enough. That's a normal response. I pass out and then get up like nothing happened. That is not a normal response.
Yeah. Have you met yourself? Because I feel like you do that routinely.
What, pass out and act like nothing happened? Not because somebody scared me.
Drink till you pass out and then wake up the next morning like, damn, let's do it again. Built different. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but nobody scared me in that process. I did that to myself.
I don't know. I feel like if we took the time, we could dive in and we could find somebody to blame for that in your head somewhere. But this is not,
me.
This is not therapy time.
Yeah, I don't need therapy. I've told you this many times. I had a great childhood. All of my screwed up was born into me.
Indeed.
Like Lady Gaga, I was born this way. Mm-hmm. We have a whole mess of super chats to get to before the end of this hour.
Do we? Okay, all right. Let's get in.
It makes the most sense. Red Sea has the video of the traffic stop, and he said, to the Discord. If you are a member of the House of Reprehensibles and you're not in the Discord, you're missing out. It's fun time. We talk about all kinds of stupid things in there. And the link is on the member page on our YouTube.
Okay.
Coming to Connecticut for is UConn basketball or the pizza, which is Chef's Kiss. You hit 2 of 4. But there are 2 elements that you're not actually there's 4 elements that you're not thinking about. Yeah, that's going to be a whole hootenanny. And I may end up doing that one. That may be me and Amy because I'm not sure logistically Tank can make that one happen. That's several days and a lot of travel. But it's going to be so much fun. About the new Pope, if you did not hear that, we have a new Pope and the first American Pope, Uncle Leo XIV. There's already controversy over the new Pope. Nobody under the age of 75 was supposed to be eligible for the vote. New Pope's 69. So that's not actually, that's a, historically they don't consider guys that are under 70. They smartened up and went, hey, we have to do this less if we'll stop choosing guys that are 82 years old and we nominate them.
I don't remember. I don't actually think that's a rule. I don't think anybody. You can't. It's not like being president, right? Like
no. There is no rule.
That's over 45 or whatever.
Gambit fan explained it nicely. It's not something that's formal. It's just a traditional thing to pick someone that's 70 or older, but it's not formal.
Mm-hmm. I do know that to be able to participate in the vote, you can't be 80 years old.
Which is very wise.
We don't allow you to vote at 80 or beyond, which I think is a good one. I think I read that there were 250 something Catholic cardinals. Only 133 of them could vote because that's how many are over 80.
Which is insane when you think about it.
A lot of old fellers. Well, I mean, once you're a priest, you never stop being a priest, right? You keep climbing that ladder of. You would hope that by the time you're 80, I mean, I'm still sorry. It's not like I retired. I'm still serving. I'm just climbing the ladder. So by the time I'm 80, I better be close to the top. That's where my mind went anyway. All right, we got another one?
Yep. My mantra on Carolina perfectly. How Carolina can win this division. Step 1, Todd Bowles. Step 2, Atlanta gets a lead in every game, only to Atlanta it every week. Step 3, profit. That's exactly right.
Plausible.
100% it is. Todd Bowles with expectations. Nothing will let you down more.
Mm-hmm. And eventually, it's probably going to happen. So far, he keeps winning the damn division, which I don't know. But he'd probably do it again.
And Gary Burch did not super chat this, but I feel like it does deserve a mention here.
Okay.
He said you live a lot longer. Talking about Catholic priests all being over 80, the Cardinals. Said you live a lot longer when you're not married. That math does math.
Mm-hmm. That it does.
I mean, those are dudes that have literally never had the argument of, what do you want for dinner tonight? I don't know. What do you want? For 40 years.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
I really had to stop that.
Warmer this afternoon.
Oh, why? Because you were about to agree very vehemently?
And tonight, highs in the upper 70s to near 80 here this afternoon. Mid-50s.
No, I had Catholic jokes running through my mind that I could not say on the air.
That's good. Just know people can still hear you. So
I'm not saying them now. I'm just saying I had to stop that before I did it.
Clouds, then sun near 7.
You're a terrible person. Thanks,
Just Ken Boone.
I am a terrible person.
This report
Mark
is
Starling
sponsored
made
by
you that way.
Discover.
All right, I'll be back in a minute. Well, we got 5 minutes here.
99% of places.
Yeah.
It's nationwide.
10-4.
You heard right. 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on ESPN Asheville.
Looking for a career with stability and purpose? NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring correctional officers statewide with a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and benefits. Learn more. Visit dac.nc.gov/co-jobs.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively. Across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
May is National Stroke Awareness Month. Stroke is a leading cause of death, but many strokes are preventable. Knowing the warning signs, face drooping, arm weakness, or slurred speech. If you see any of those signs, call 911 immediately. Talk to your doctor about your risk and take steps now. Eat well, stay active, and monitor your blood pressure and cholesterol. Learn more and take our free stroke health risk assessment at myhaywoodregional.com. I'm Mark Starling, and this Medical Minute brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center.
At Ingles Markets, we're here to remind you that Mother's Day is Sunday, May 11th, and we at Ingles can make honoring the mothers in your life easy and fabulous. Ingles Floral is ready with fresh bouquets of roses and other locally sourced flowers. The rest of the store is ready with cards, wrapping supplies, balloons, chocolates, and all the ingredients for Mom's special breakfast. All that's left to bring is the love. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how...
Are you back?
Are you still covered up with
Yep.
storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013.
All right, this is the last one.
16-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo! From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
Go to ESPNAVL.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog feed! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. Today we're focusing on the most improved teams of the NFL offseason, and we've only covered the Panthers so far.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of topics today. Very few of them have anything to do with sports because it's the offseason, and so sometimes Tank and I'll get on a roll talking about meth-addled raccoons and the Pope.
Sometimes that's what you got to do. It's water cooler talk. This is what the people are talking about today.
I wouldn't know. I very rarely ever leave my house. I've become basically a hermit.
Jeremy's pretty high on the Carolina Panthers and their trajectory. Says they're one of the most improved teams of the offseason and that they have a legitimate shot to win the division this year. I disagree. I don't think they're – I just can't go there yet. They're growing, and they're going to be better. I don't know that they're going to be vastly improved. They certainly wouldn't have been the first team on my mind of, well, the Panthers have to be better.
Well, they weren't the first team on my mind. They were the first team I mentioned. And I made that pretty clear to you that that's not my one.
Who's the most improved team?
New England Patriots, not close.
Okay.
New England, it's New England Patriots by they'd be 1, 2, and 4 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that team went from absolutely it looked like an expansion roster. It doesn't look like an expansion roster anymore. I don't know how good they're going to be. But, you just look up and down the roster. You add Travion Henderson in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going from top to bottom here. You got Josh Dobbs backing up Drake May. You add Stephon Diggs and Kyle Williams and Mac Hollins to the receiver room. At this point, Jalen Polk, I don't really care if he figures it out or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it's window dressing at this point. Tight end room was always good if unspectacular.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get to the most important part, the offensive line. You got Will Campbell starting at left tackle, Garrett Bradbury at center, Morgan Moses at right tackle. Michael Onwenu was the one piece that you kind of knew what you had.
Mm-hmm.
Layden Robinson, I don't love that. That's a kid they drafted, a year ago? I don't love that, but okay. Now it's one squeaky wheel, but I feel pretty solid about the other four.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get over to the defense, and that defense could be really, really, really good.
That they could. Milton Williams added to the defensive line with Christian Barmore. They brought in Harold Landry III. Carlton Davis is now their 3. Or I guess he's their 2.
No, he's the 2. Carlton Davis and Gonzalez will play on the outside. Marcus Jones will play out the slot. You still got Marcellus Dial, who I liked a year ago. Mm-hmm. Look, the big difference in New England is I'm assuming it's Elliott Wolf, but I think it's Elliott Wolf with some input from Mike Vrabel. This ain't Bill Belichick drafting anymore. There's no more Cole Strange in the first round. Those days are over.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of Patriots fans and that are very understandably excited. They're saying, "Oh, New England's going to make the playoffs." I'm not there yet. I'm not. But you went from one of the worst teams in the NFL to, I would say, the 9 or 10 in the AFC. That's a huge jump in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed when I first had these things broached to me of, well, New England's going to make the playoffs. And I went, that's the craziest thing anybody's ever said to me. And then I really thought about it. And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think it's going to happen. But right now, looking at what New England has, I would take them over the Jets. I would take them over the Dolphins. I'd take them over the Browns, the Titans, the Jaguars, the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that just what I said right there puts them at 10 in the AFC. And I don't buy Denver either.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the AFC East is going to play the NFC South this year.
Which helps.
So New England's going to get matchups with the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If what you say is true about all of those teams and they're all just going to be crap again, then those are 4 pretty winnable games. They got the Browns on the schedule, the Giants on the schedule. That's already 6 wins? Tennessee Titans as well. If you're putting them over the Titans, then you see how the wins start to add up. Mm-hmm. They also have the Ravens on the schedule this year, the Raiders on the schedule this year, which that's a team that I don't know.
I would take the Raiders over them, but it's close.
I would as well. I think Pete Carroll being in Las Vegas, I'm not going to say as horrible things about Las Vegas this year as I have in the past. I'm kind of digging where they're going right now. We'll see how it works out. They could easily fall from that perch, but if you're saying New England's going to be semi-contenderish, I haven't even counted the division games yet. So if you got them head and shoulders above the Jets, that's 2 more wins that you can add on. I could see a path where this team could go that far, but could I bet on that? What's their win total in Vegas right now?
8.5. It's right on it. I can't even touch it.
That's too uncomfortable.
I can't even touch it because I think New England's either 7, 8, 9, or 10. And until they see the schedule, that's the hardest part of this. I do a segment with Ingles every week that goes out all over the Southeast. And the last 2 weeks I've been doing get your futures in now because some of these are so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say New England until I saw the number and I went, they're spot on. They're spot on.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few that are nanners. San Francisco 49ers. What am I missing?
What do you mean, what are you missing?
The 49ers, if you had to guess the win total in the 49ers for this year, what would you say it was?
I'd probably say same thing, 8.5.
It's 10.5.
Are you serious?
I don't think the 49ers could win 10.5 games if they played in the Big 12.
Are you serious, Clark?
I am serious. And I already have. I'll put it this way. If San Francisco wins 11 games, I may need to sleep on your couch for a while.
I mean, okay, they need to. They also get matched up with the NFC South. Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans, Chicago Bears, Indianapolis Colts. This is Cleveland Browns, New York Giants. I mean, they do have one of the easiest schedules.
They have the easiest schedule.
But didn't they have that last year?
I don't care. They are bad defensively. They will lose games in that you would not expect.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of improved teams in the NFC. Because you asked me who is my number one, well, that's New England. My number two, there are a few of them that I think qualify here.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago Bears are going to be up there pretty high.
You weren't wild about the draft.
I was not.
But they do have a better coach.
That's
Ben Johnson.
All of it. I swear to you, that is 100% of it. You fixed the offensive line. You got 3 new starters on that line.
Yep. Jonah Jackson, Joe Thuney, Ozzie Trapillo.
Of which I don't know what they're planning on doing with Darnell Wright, but it feels like they have 6 starters. It actually feels like they have 7 starters and only 5 spots. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Darnell Wright may still be on the right side. Trapillo may be a swing. I don't know. But then I look to the defense, and the defense was already good. And now you add Dennis Allen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just being coached by grown-ups makes Chicago one of the winners of this offseason to me. I don't love what they've added. You know how I feel about Luther Burden.
Right.
I think Colston Loveland is – I like Loveland. I'm shocked somebody took him over Tyler Warren. And I get it, fit with Kmet. I've heard all the things. You were not going to agree on this. Because to me, they're both good, but only one of them has the potential to be great.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can, if Ben Johnson is the key to Caleb Williams, you're going to be in the playoffs this year. And I'm not sure there's another coach in the NFL that I think even had a shot.
I do think that this will be a better team, but it's not going to be vastly better. I don't think. I still feel like this is a team that's fighting for its life at the end at the last week of the season. Don't you?
Not okay. So why do you say that? When you say fighting for the life, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about last week of the season. Is that last game will depend on whether or not they make the playoffs.
I don't know that I agree with you, but we also look at several teams in the NFC way different. So I'll just walk you through where I'm at. The NFC ain't getting more than one team. I feel very sure of that. Because I think the team that wins that division is the only one that finishes above 500.
The NFC South.
The NFC South, yes.
Okay.
The NFC East has 2 really good teams and 2 really bad teams. The Cowboys are kind of a wild card. It's just so hard for me to trust Brian Schottenheimer in any way.
Yeah, I would say Dallas is closer to those other 2.
All right, so that's 3 spots with Washington, Philadelphia, whoever wins the South. So I got 4 spots for the NFC West. I think San Francisco is awful. I think that roster has atrophied to such a point. I don't care who they play. I don't need to look at their schedule. That ain't an 11-win team. I don't care who they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the Cardinals way more than you do. Because I think the Cardinals are a borderline playoff team right now. Because I can see 3 of them coming out of the NFC West. I can see the Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks, all 3 making the playoffs.
I could too.
Where I run into problems is the NFC North because I don't like the Packers, I don't like the Vikings, and I'm not sure what the Lions are going to be. Because it scares the heeber-jeebers out of me that they lost Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. Because what if you can't duplicate that offense? You're not good enough defensively to not be able to not keep chopping wood. And what if it was Ben and Aaron? And what if it was more Ben and Aaron than it was Dan?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're here with Dan Campbell and two wish versions of your former coordinators. You lost I think it was your quarterback's coach to the Jets. You lost a bunch of pieces off that side. These staffs don't look anything like they did a year ago.
But even that is going to be good enough to get you into the playoffs in the NFC, isn't it?
I don't know that it is. I don't know. And look, I'm not saying that it's not. The Detroit Lions are one of those teams I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Not until I see the schedule. Because, and this is, people ask me every year, why do you focus on the schedule so much? Because we talk about it for 2 solid days. Because there are certain things that I'm looking for. Detroit, I want you to play the 4 worst teams on your schedule the first 4 weeks of the year. Because you got 2 new play callers. You got a lot of moving parts. And it could be clunky to begin with. Mm-hmm. And so if you tell me that the Lions start at the Bears, I'm trying to think of teams that they're going to play. If you tell me that they start with the toughest part of their schedule in the beginning, it could start less than awesome. I mean, I'm just looking at their schedule. They got Philadelphia on this schedule, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Steelers, Tampa Bay, of which those are 2 teams that I don't love, but if you get them early, I like it way less than if you get them late.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of good teams there. And Chicago, look, I get it. Maybe I'm falling for it again. I've fallen for Chicago. I think Ben Johnson changes a lot. I look at Caleb Williams way different right now than I did a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't you?
Yes, I do.
He got it out of Jared Goff, who I never understood how he went 1 overall. I think that draft was the first one that you and I knew each other. And I had routine. If it wasn't, then we were definitely doing things like this the next 2 years. Because at one time, I thought Carson Wentz was the best quarterback in the league.
I want to say it was the year after, because I think the talking point of our first draft was the Kyler thing.
Okay. That was 2018.
Yeah. They just took a guy. Why would we do that? I believe.
Or no, that was 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 2018 was Darnold and Baker and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think.
I know we had a lot of discussions about Carson Wentz because I had Carson Wentz 101 in that draft,
mm-hmm.
and then he got hurt and everything came tumbling after. But I look at a guy that got it out of Jared Goff that it's not that I didn't see the talent; I just never saw a star. My issue with him was that I saw way too much Kyle Bowler in him, and then you watch how he developed this system. And they're leaning on the run, and they make Amon-Ra St. Brown a thing. If Ben Johnson was there, I would take Isaac Tesla in the first round of fantasy drafts. That's how confident I am in Ben Johnson. I don't know what you've got now. And so I look at the Bears, and I feel like Minnesota has definitely atrophied. You can't go from Sam Darnold to J.J. McCarthy and tell me you feel as good about it because I've never seen the second one throw a pass in the NFL. It also makes me nervous they felt the urge to go get Sam Howell, but that's a story for another day. The Packers roster is not as good as it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. And then the Lions have their issues, and I look at the Bears and go, you've shored up a lot of these things. The offensive line's better. I think the defensive line, I'm not going to say it's better. I think it's just more cohesive because I don't love Grady Jarrett. But I love the pieces that you added because they're so safe.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no path that Grady Jarrett becomes an absolute sieve. There's no path that Gervon Dexter is going to be a sieve. I don't love Dayo Adingbo, but between him and Hardy and Montez Sweat, I think you're going to be able to get after quarterbacks. You got a good set of linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the secondary is good. Defensively, you're going to be in games, and I got one of the smartest offensive guys in the league on the other side.
Yeah. All right, the Chicago Bears. Second most improved for Jeremy Greene. New England Patriots were number 1. Carolina Panthers fall in that list somewhere. We'll continue the most improved team.
I like the next team a lot better than I like the first 2 I just said.
All right. Coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
The quest to regain.
And we're clear.
Starts now, so be here
and
for
it's not
every
the
huge
Jets,
moment of the Braves 2025 season.
First pitch, ground ball right side. Diving stop by Ozzie. Got him. Whoa, what a play by Albies.
The mountain's home for the Braves. ESPN Asheville.
Fly ball to deep right by Marcel. That's way back and gone. Home run, Ozuna.
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball all season on Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
News has never been so important.
We've got breaking news from Capitol Hill.
And iHeart makes it so easy to stay in the know with 24/7 news on iHeartRadio.
A major breakthrough in medical research.
Live around the clock, so you're never more than 3 minutes away from the stories that matter most.
Extreme weather is impacting millions.
24/7 news, right at your fingertips with the free iHeart app, where you can now make 24/7 news a preset for even quicker access. 24/7 news on iHeartRadio.
Don't miss the Cold Mountain Music Festival at beautiful Lake Logan in Canton, North Carolina, Friday and Saturday, May 30th and 31st. This year's lineup has Fireside Collective, Melissa Carper, the Shed House Trio featuring Darren Nicholson, Denisha, Fancy and the Gentleman, The Last Rebel, and American Aquarium. Proceeds support the programs of Lake Logan, Camp Henry, and the Outdoor School. And for every ticket purchased, Lake Logan will donate $1 to support this year's participating jam musicians. General admission and camping tickets on sale now at coldmountainmusic.org.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina is doing it again. Their next car show for a cause is coming up Saturday, May 24th. Cars Against Breast Cancer at the Advanced Auto Parts in Oakley Plaza, 801 Fairview Road. It'll be an afternoon of family-friendly fun with a 50-50 and raffle prizes, including a PS5 and the grand prize, a week in a condo in Myrtle Beach, Tennessee, or Virginia. There'll be live music, face painting, and games for the kids. Join Wheels for Meals Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
The Sportsocracy.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
We're back at the Sportsocracy on 92.9. ESPN Asheville. Want to remind everybody coming up on June the 4th, it's going to be our first Womack Wednesday. As throughout the, for the foreseeable future, we'll be joined by sports director from News 13, Chris Womack, every Wednesday. Talk more local sports. Get a lot of college football. I love talking college football with Chris Womack. Big Alabama guy, too. So we'll see how he feels about his Crimson Tide going into this year.
Also, once got punched in the face by Deontay Wilder.
He did. Which I still think is amazing that he survived. But
I also think it's crazy that he doesn't put that as like the tagline on his Twitter. Deontay Wilder once punched me in the face, and I lived to tell it.
Yeah. So Womack Wednesdays will start on June the 4th, by the way. Since we do this on, you like to do this to me on the air, just mark it on your calendar that I'm going to need you to do the second Womack Wednesday, as I'll be going to Washington, D.C. the next week. So That one will be on you. You guys will.
So then we'll have full college talk, which will be that will be fun for me. Because by that time we will be, I don't know how much of the Living the Dream tour we will have unveiled, but it'll be a decent amount.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many. It's if you can't tell, it's what I've been doing all week, and it's for me. It's almost like when you buy your kids something cool and you're like, I don't want to wait till your birthday. I want to give it to you now.
I want to tell you what it is now.
I'll give it to you now.
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Still got some things to iron out, but lots of them in the fire. So just stay tuned to the Sportsocracy.
We also have a super chat before we get back into most improved teams.
All right.
Say he's happy to join us. He's out of work with herniated discs. T's and P's on that because back pain is the worst. I had to join the chat. Listen from home. We appreciate you, James, and we hope you feel better.
Shoot.
ASAP.
God, I hope you don't have to have surgery. I've been down that road. I've been too close. The doctor looked me in the eye at one point and said, "You have back surgery. Guess what? You're having back surgeries now." Because you don't just get one of those. You get one to fix it, and then 5 years later, they're going to fix it again. 7 years later, they're going to fix it again. It's bad business. James, we're thinking about you, buddy. Most improved teams of the NFL offseason. You had the Patriots at 1, Bears at 2. Who's third most improved?
The Washington football team Commanders. I just realized it still says Washington football team on their videos on there. So I put them together.
We're still publishing Washington football team stuff?
I didn't know it. Apparently we did it all throughout the draft season. I had no clue.
Interesting.
It'll be fixed this afternoon.
Just refuse to call them the commies.
No, I don't call them that because they are the Commanders and not the Communists.
All right, so the Commanders most improved. Adding Deebo Samuel puts you on a pretty good path there. What else improved?
I love adding Deebo. I love what they did to the offensive line. Brandon Coleman, to me, was a problem last year because I think he's playing out of position. Now you got Laramie Tunsil playing on the left. I think you will have Josh Connerly playing on the right. I know Andrew Wiley's still around here. Mm-hmm. I get it. I don't think he's beating Connerly. I don't. I think Connerly is one of the most fleet on his feet offensive linemen you'll ever see. And you have a full offseason program to acclimate him to playing on the right side. I think ultimately your line is going to be Tunsil, Allegretti, Biotish, Cosme, Connerly. Mm-hmm. That's really well built for Jaden Daniels. A guy that improvises a lot, is really fast, and runs a lot off schedule. I wish they had added a running back that I felt better about. I will say this. Don't be shocked if Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt ends up playing way more than you think. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about that kid much during the process because he had no tape from last year. He played one game at Arizona. He was one of the best running backs in the country at New Mexico the year before. Then he got into some academic ineligibility problems. It's not an injury. Very rarely do you have light tape on a guy and it has nothing to do with an injury. I could see him fighting for snaps there. Then we get to the defense. And I know the names are not necessarily sexy. It's not the first team guys that I'm so stuck on. It's what you added to the depth. Because now, I believe you will have Trey Amos, Marshawn Lattimore, and probably Sainra still in the slot. But you have a fourth corner in Jonathan Jones that I like as well. Mm-hmm. You still got Percy Butler in the back half backing up Harrison Martin. This team's just so much deeper. That was one of the issues I saw with them last year, is that you didn't have a whole lot of a second punch. And I think Washington at this point may be Washington and Philadelphia are the two best teams in the NFC to me, fact or fiction.
I don't know, but probably.
Who to you is even in their class? Because I don't see one.
The Lions.
With the instability of the coaching staff, I can't get there. That's straight up, because the defense is not good enough.
The talent on that team is good enough to win this conference again.
I don't agree with you there either.
Okay.
I think the Lions had, and look, as I said, the schedule could be beneficial to them. I'm not throwing dirt on them by any stretch of the imagination. Mm-hmm. I just can't pencil them into the top of this conference the way that I have. There's no instability with Philadelphia. There's no instability with Washington. You have a lot. And roster for roster, I think their rosters are better than yours, which just compounds the other issue. All right, so there's your three. Who's your four? And why is it a team that plays in the NFC West? That are all three very similar in terms of talent level.
Is it the Rams?
It was probably the Rams for me, but the Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals are very close to each other. I think there's way more unsettled in the NFC. It's so weird how year over year you see all this, the change that happens in rosters. Last year, we thought the AFC was hands down better than the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it was hands down better than the NFC because they had 10 teams where the NFC had 4. Now I look at the NFC as you're way deeper, but I don't think you're as good at the top because now you have 2 teams that to me are just clearly better. Mm-hmm. Washington's put themselves up there with Philadelphia, and if I could bet on who plays in the NFC title game right now, I would bet it on Washington and Philadelphia.
Right.
And then there's about 7 teams that I look at and go, your good's really good. Detroit fan man, I don't think loved what I just said about the Lions. The Lions' good is still great. Your range of outcomes just got way wider. Because I could see the Lions going 14-3. I could also see them going about 8-9.
Ooh.
And I do think that's on the table. Look at that schedule. Trust me, you find a lot of losses if you don't love everything that's happening there.
Okay.
But I feel that way about a lot of teams. I feel that way about Seattle. I feel that way about Arizona. I feel that way about the Rams. I feel that way about every single team in the NFC South. I just don't think you have the high side. I could see you finishing 9-8 or 5-12. None of that would surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Washington has solidified themselves as the 2.
The schedule for the Lions could be difficult.
The schedule for the Lions is evil.
They got Ravens, Bengals, Eagles, Commanders, Chiefs, Rams. That's just the 6 toughest games of the schedule. They will also have to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys, all teams that could be surprise teams. Come up and bite you one week. Happened last year with Tampa. Cleveland Browns, New York Giants. Okay, those are wins. That's the whole non-division schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you think they're going to steamroll Green Bay, okay. Probably going to steamroll Minnesota as well.
Yeah, let me compare that to what Washington gets. At home, you play the Bears, Lions, Broncos, Raiders, and Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of wins there. On the road, you go Green Bay, Kansas City, Chargers, Minnesota, Miami, Atlanta. I see a couple potential losses there.
Mm-hmm.
But I could easily see you going 4-2. Because it's just not as daunting. Washington is in a sweet little honey hole. Because they may be the second best team in the conference, but they're only the second best team in their division. Which means they're not playing the teams that won these divisions last year. They're playing the team that finished second.
Mm-hmm.
And in large part, those are very hit or miss spots. Denver, y'all can buy into that. I'm not going to. I'm sorry. I don't see a path where Bo Nix is competing with Pat Mahomes. I don't buy it. Seattle, I love Sam Darnold. You know that. Anybody that's listened to this show for any period of time knows that.
Yes.
Could that crater into the ocean with just Jackson Smith and Jigba and a bunch of slots? It could.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders, I love what they're doing. Is it possible I'm a year early? Sure. Chicago Bears, same exact thing I just said. I'm not as high on the Packers. I'm not as high on the Vikings. I'm probably the lowest person in the world on the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you really boil it down, that's a ton of winnable games. I love Washington. I love I'm taking the over because I think they're at 10.5 too, of which I keep looking at Washington and San Francisco side by side going, you hung out with that raccoon last night, didn't you? You and that raccoon you were hitting the old peace pipe. Good for you, but that's insane.
Here's me and my best friend Rocky. Oh yeah, the raccoon's here as well. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll continue the most improved NFL teams from the offseason so far. Coming up next.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Your mountain weather
Thank
forecast.
Warmer this
We'll
afternoon.
do a quick crimes and then the last
Chance for showers and storms
improved
late this
teams.
afternoon and tonight. Highs in the upper 70s to near 80 here this afternoon.
How many more you got?
Tonight we'll keep a chance for
2.
showers and storms in during the day Friday. Otherwise, mix of clouds and sun. Not quite as warm tomorrow afternoon. Highs in the low part of the 70s. Slight chance for a shower during the day Saturday, Sunday. Otherwise, more clouds than sun near 70. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Member Week is here at Lowe's with up to 40% off paints, stains, tools, flooring, and more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free today to save more. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
Am I the only one that heard that commercial and want to get Jeremy a Green Gobbler t-shirt?
Feel like you're the only person on earth.
I'm not going to lie, I wasn't going to say it, but I was sitting here, I had my mic muted, I was sitting here snickering through the whole thing.
The Green Gobbler. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem.
I want to Google that and see if we can find t-shirts, but I'm afraid that'll flag HR.
Find the Ingalls Table.
Oh, for sure. You would be escorted out of the building at 3:02.
Store and pick up your free Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. Call me today, Clarissa Marshall, at 828-774-6343. When it comes...
What is the Green Gobbler's superpower?
You.
Do better, be better every day.
To the chat.
Mission to improve lives with
the chat.
This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
All right, we are back in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. It's 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Man, the commercial breaks are so much fun. You should really tune in on the YouTube stream.
Where you can hear us talk about said things.
You can go to the sportsocracy.com, click that live video link. That'll get you in on the off-air discussions during the commercial breaks.
You can hear Tank talk to himself for 2.5 minutes because I wasn't touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
Sure you weren't.
Which actually,
That's
it steers into my story.
Says.
It's that line steers into my story in this segment as well.
Well, give it to us. What crime do you have?
My story is about 34-year-old Willie Farrell. By the way, don't do crimes. I haven't had the chance to do that in a while, and you didn't tease me for it.
Right. Yeah.
Mr. Farrell apparently was on we'll say it was a dry streak, because he was in a car with one 48-year-old Deandra Lysick. And to say that this woman has lived a rough life would be the understatement of forever. Because you'll have to Google it, because I don't have the picture, but when you see the picture, you'll know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. They had met somehow in a business transaction. They were in a car, and they were canoodling. They were stopped by police because the car was sitting in a place that didn't make a whole lot of sense. So police get out. They walk to the car. They find Mr. Farrell and Miss Lysick engaged in sexual activity. That doesn't really make this a crime-worthy story until you find out where the car was parked. At the entrance to the Hartford Police Barracks. They were blocking the entrance to the police barracks to canoodle in a car.
Uh-huh.
Then they search the car. They find Miss Lysick's purse, which has 3 $10 bills at the top of it, which is the funniest part of the story. By a long shot. She admits that she is a sexual worker and that she is working her job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which made me ask a lot of questions. One, how did you decide to do this in the parking lot of the police barracks? 2, why did you not park in a parking spot? You literally parked at the gate. You parked in the stupidest place you could possibly park to commit crimes. Then we get into the more fun of how exactly did you two meet? Because you're 14 years older than him. He's not a bad-looking cat. She looks like she's been in this business for a minute.
Okay. Price point, maybe? Is the price point? Is that how they met? Was he a cheapman?
Hey, he's pulling the Tank Spencer. He's balling on a budget. I told that whole story just for that line. That was it. That was the whole reason I told this story.
I don't know how you get out of that.
It's not good.
No, it's not good.
Look, we've all paid for it. Just never with a straight cash transaction.
Okay.
Yeah, you've bought dinners, had you there, Puddin'?
I was like, what? Where is this going?
Yeah, how many dinners you bought there, Puddin'?
Oh, I'm a married man. I'm still paying for it.
For sure.
No doubt about it.
For sure. You're a grown man with a cat. You're paying for it every day of your life.
100%.
Your eyes have been itchy and watery for 17 years. That's not a cash transaction, but you're paying for it, bruh.
No doubt about it. I got a lot of credit built up, and the problem is I'm going to die with that credit.
Oh, yeah.
I already know it.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have those free Blockbuster rentals for the rest of your life.
All right.
Your wife's going to stab me with a knife the next time she sees me.
100%.
I hope this is not one of those times that she randomly decided to listen, because I will be murdered.
All right, we got 2 more teams to get into for the most improved teams in the NFL.
This is typically where she chimes into the chat and goes, I heard that.
Uh-huh. Oh, not anymore. She had to go back to the office. So they're not allowed to listen at the office.
Oh.
They were told they could not listen at a reasonable volume.
I cannot listen to my podcast at a reasonable volume.
From 12 to 3.
By the way, I didn't think of this. Sanders Sports has a really good point. It's $30 during inflation times.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it was when the economy was good? $8. Oh, Lord. That explains a lot.
It does. It does. Most improved teams. Who's number 4?
The Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand how anybody doesn't love what Arizona's done.
Okay, which move was the one that we're supposed to love so much?
Do you remember what this defense looked like last year?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Okay. Here's their starting 11 right now. Josh Sweat, Walter Nolan, Dalvin Tomlinson, Darius Robinson, Mac Wilson, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Baron Browning, Will Johnson, probably Starling Thomas, Garrett Williams, Jalen Thompson, Buda Baker.
Not bad.
Oh, by the way, I also forgot they still have Zaven Collins and Calais Campbell and Cody Simon and Sean Murphy-Bunting and Max Melton and Joey Blunt. All guys that I like a lot. That defense went from liability to I think they might be one of the 10 best units in the league.
Wow. That's a big jump.
And Red Sea said, and B.J. Ojulari, who I forgot about, which apparently I think so did ESPN because I don't. Oh, there he is. Wow, he is way down that depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Burch, who they just drafted in the 3rd round.
Right.
That defense is not going to be fun to deal with. The offense was never really the problem. As long as Kyler Murray's upright and healthy, they're fine. I don't know that they're specifically dynamic, but I think you'll see an improvement from Trey Benson.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll see an improvement from Marvin Harrison Jr. I've always liked Michael Wilson, and you got one of the best tight ends in the league. I think Arizona's a borderline playoff team.
I can't disagree with that. Because the one thing that they needed to do was beef up the defense. And I believe everyone should know by now how I feel about Josh Sweat. Huge fan. Walter Nolan was a home run pick in this draft. Being able to get after quarterbacks is what will set the Jonathan Gannon defense apart. And he's been able to bring in some tools that he can do that with now. Is it a banger like Philadelphia? No, it's not.
It could be in a year.
But it's much better than what you were.
It could be in a year.
I don't know about Darius Robinson. I just don't know enough about him as a player to know how he's going to translate to the NFL. But I mean, is he going to be an immediate impact starter?
He was hurt last year, so you didn't necessarily get the best look at him. I mean, I think he only played 5 games, 6 games, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he's almost like another free draft pick because you got so little from him last year.
Yep.
And I'm just looking at Arizona going, man, that defense is deep. Like, it's deep, and it's multiple. They can play any front you possibly want. They can play 4-3. They can play 3-4. They can play 3-3-5. They can do whatever you want. And I look at Jonathan Gannon and go, yep, I see what you're doing there.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you left in Philadelphia. I see what you're doing here, and I'm not going to say you're there yet, but I'll say you're pretty close.
Was an 8-9 team last year. How many more wins can they have this year, though? 2 at most?
Oh, I think they can be better than that.
Really?
Have you looked at the schedule?
He's like a 12-5 team?
Have you looked at the schedule? Just who they play. Obviously, we don't know the order yet. We won't know that until Wednesday.
Right.
Their home games, obviously, they play the teams within the division.
Sure.
At home, they play the Falcons, Panthers, Jaguars, Titans, and Packers. Anything about that make you want to run for the hills?
No, that's undefeated.
Okay. On the road,
Could be.
They play the Texans, Colts, Buccaneers, Saints, and Cowboys, and Bengals. All right, you lose to the Bengals, you lose to the Cowboys. I'll even throw you a bone, say you lose to the Buccaneers and the Texans. It's hard to get this team beyond 10-7, like any worse than that. And I could see it being markedly better than that.
Very well could be.
If Kyler Murray's upright and plays 17 games, I think this team wins 11 games and goes to the playoffs. The thing that scares me is I'm still not in love with your offensive line. Yeah. We have a super chat before we get to the final improved team.
All right.
Our projected starters from last year, minus Darius and BJ, are all backups or off the team this year. Exactly. You have high-end pieces now that you didn't have before. Mm-hmm. They were cobbling this together with Zaven Collins playing all over the place. Now Zaven Collins is a backup. Zaven Collins is a guy they can put wherever they want to because he doesn't – he's not dedicated to any one spot. And I can do that with a lot of guys. And you got Calais Campbell, who might be the best vet in the league. I mean, if you want to bring along defensive linemen, tell him to carry Calais Campbell's bags everywhere he goes.
All right, number one most improved was the Patriots. Bears at 2, Commanders at 3, Arizona Cardinals at 4. Who's 5?
It was a tie between Carolina and the Las Vegas Raiders. Geno Smith by himself stabilizing that position was enough to get you considered for this list. The fact you added Ashton Genty and just a few other pieces, they didn't do broad strokes things. I loved some of what they did at the draft. You know I'm not a big fan of taking running backs at 6.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's what all of you tell me he is, your running game just got a lot better.
Yeah. You took a shot on a star.
I'm still not dead sold on that secondary. But I like the offense a lot. I love the front. And all you had to do was hit on a couple of these guys, a Landon Roberts, Devin White, Eric Stokes, Jeremy Chin. If you hit on a few of those guys, this defense can be good to really good. I don't think it can be even better than that.
They could be hair on fire. That is for sure.
And that's all I need them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I've got an offense that I think can score points. I think it's very multiple. And I got a much better coach. You know, Pete Carroll is a huge step up from his name just went out, Antonio Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
I kept wanting to call him Antonio Gibson.
Nope.
He's the mediocre running back for the Patriots that Tank won't shut up about during fantasy football season.
That's right.
I like this Raiders team. And I'll say this now. I like them better than Denver. I think the Chargers and the Chiefs are both still ahead of them comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Raiders better than Denver right now.
Wow. Okay. All right. Look for the Raiders to try to make a run up the standings in the AFC West. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We'll be back with you tomorrow at noon, where we will do the reverse of this. We'll talk about the worst teams, the least improved teams of the offseason so far.
The teams that got not gooder, they got less gooder.
As only at ESPN draft nerd Jeremy Greene can put it. We will see you right back here on 92.9, 880, and 1400, and the iHeartRadio app, and the YouTube tomorrow at noon.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Mountain weather forecast.
Warmer this afternoon,
Okay.
mix of clouds and sun. Chance for showers and storms late this afternoon and tonight. Highs in the upper 70s to near 80 here this afternoon. Mid-50s tonight. We'll keep a
Back
chance
to checking
for
flights
storms
and
during the day.
Airbnbs
Clouds
and
sun. Not
schedules
quite as warm tomorrow
and-
afternoon. Highs in the low part of the 70s. Slight chance for a shower during the day Saturday, Sunday. Otherwise, more clouds than sun.
Do you want to take a look at what I have up until this point?
Just being responsible.
Don't postpone better sleep.
Yes, I do want to look at.
All right,
what you got.
Upgrade to a
we'll hang
premium
out
bed
till we
from a
switch
curated
over.
selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out.
I'll share
Visit
my screen
Mattress
and
Firm
you can
today.
see the
Get
list.
matched. Sleep at night.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman,
There's
he does
one of them
whatever
I
it
think
takes
you
to
will
keep
be
the power on
very
in his community.
jump up and down to
And
get
he wants
to.
a partner like Granger.
Because it's a stadium you've always told me you
Granger
wanted to
offers
go
the
to.
professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors
I'll give you
to
a hint. They
harnesses
just
to
caused an
hard hats,
earthquake in their
plus
stadium
fast,
because
dependable
the
delivery.
band that
So he
plays
can
their
rise to
entrance
every
music
challenge.
did a concert
Call
there, and they
1-800
literally
Granger,
set off the
click
Richter
Granger.com.
scale. Yeah.
Granger, for the ones who get it done.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the hardest hit areas in those first hours. Like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
For more information about contests on this station, go to ESPNAVL.com. Wheels for Meals of Western North Carolina is doing it again. Their next car show for a cause is coming up Saturday, May 24th. Cars Against Breast Cancer at the Advanced Auto Parts in Oakley Plaza, 801 Fairview Road. It'll be an afternoon of family-friendly fun with a 50-50 and raffle prizes, including a PS5 and the grand prize, a week in a condo in Myrtle Beach, Tennessee, or Virginia. There'll be live music, face painting, and games for the kids. Join Wheels for Meals Western North Carolina, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturday, May the 24th at Oakley Plaza.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The iHeartRadio app now has presets, just like in the car. You're our number one. Make us yours. ESPN Asheville, the mountain's favorite sports station, streaming 24/7. Your home for the Sportsocracy. Weekdays at noon. The Tar Heels and Atlanta Braves baseball.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shop.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
To provide the music, talk, and sports you love. And to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville.